Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the heart of downtown London and beautiful Labatt Memorial Park for Game 2 of the IBL playoffs. It's the quarterfinals between the 2-seed Kitchener Panthers and the 7-seed London Majors. It is a beautiful night for baseball here at Labatt Park as we welcome you inside the Game Day London broadcast booth. My name is Dylan Baker. Alongside me for the call tonight, Reece Doumani, who has been filling in for us throughout the summer. And Reece, it's sort of game 1.5 for these two teams after the suspended game yesterday.
Yeah, it is, and that's why it's really tough to judge how you can expect this game to go. And I mean, London ahead 3-1 when it got suspended in that fourth inning, and they showed off the power early, so you could take that into this game and maybe expect that from the Majors. Now, a little bit of a different ballpark. It doesn't fly as much here as it does at Jack Couch, but still, teams are going to be feeling themselves out not playing a complete game yet.
Absolutely, they will be. And one of the things that was a bit of a detriment to the Majors, you mentioned the lead that they had, but the other thing they had going for them, Christian Hawk's pitch count was very elevated when that game was ended, and the Majors had a chance to get into that very deep Kitchener Panthers bullpen early on and potentially use up some arms, but the rain prevented that, and so everybody's fresh today.
Yeah, we're looking at 60-some-odd pitches, approaching 70 into that fourth inning, so you kind of expect it. I mean, we've seen Houck throw a lot of pitches in the past, and we're talking 100-plus pitches, so you could expect that he may do that, although in the playoffs, games are a little bit tighter, a little bit closer together. You never really know, so you have to use that bullpen, and the Majors did a very nice job working counts, getting that pitch count up for Houck. Unfortunate, they weren't able to finish the job there.
Well, the Majors are going to be looking to continue the momentum that they've had into this ball game, because before they were leading yesterday in Game 1 of the IBL quarterfinals, they had won 4 in a row going into the playoffs. And it's no secret that the Majors have had a tough year, but they really did get hot at the right time.
Yeah, they did, and with Kitchener being their opponent, it kind of takes you back to year 1 when the Majors won the first of back-to-back championships, when they got the Brantford Red Sox, who beat the Kitchener Panthers in round 1. It was just about who got hot, and it's something that Matt Hiscox and I had talked about over the last couple of Fridays, that, yeah, tough times for the Majors, but they get hot at the right time. You never really know, and I think one benefit for them is that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday game. We're looking at Barrie, Welland, and then Brantford. All 3 of those games were close.
Yeah.
Like, all the games were close down the stretch, which I think helps a lot going into the playoffs.
Not only were those 3 games close, Tuesday was close in Guelph as well. The Majors have been playing some baseball where they've really had to fight, and they have shown up in those contests. The Kitchener Panthers, of course, coming off a heated battle for second place where they came out on top over the Barrie Baycats.
Yeah, and they're kind of thanking the London Majors a little bit for that Friday night win against the Barrie Baycats. Yeah, no, the Panthers, to get themselves into second place, it took a lot of work to get that done and get that second-seeded spot because, of course, Welland had that locked up for about a couple of weeks, so it was about getting second place. And for the Panthers, they were just better down the stretch, and they were able to earn themselves that second-place spot.
Well, there you see Majors starting pitcher Pedro de los Santos will have his first pitch, the ceremonial first pitch, and all the action for you here on Majors TV after this break.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Memorial Park after a beautiful rendition of our national anthem by Candace Burgo. We are nearly set for baseball here at Labatt Memorial Park. It is Game 2 of the IBL Quarterfinals between the Kitchener Panthers and the London Majors. Now I say it's Game 2. Game 1 was not completed yesterday due to inclement weather. But before we get things going in today's ball game, a very exciting special guest to throw the ceremonial first pitch. 2023 Toronto Maple Leafs first-round pick and London Knight, Easton Cowan. Cowan was supposed to throw the first pitch a little while ago here at Labatt Park, but that game was rained out, pardon me. So he gets his chance to throw out the first pitch here. Getting a nice round of applause from the hometown London faithful as he gets set. 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera getting that one in. I'd say that's a strike, Reece.
It absolutely is. Makes you think that, yes, hockey was the right choice for him, but a little baseball in his past potentially.
Absolutely. Easton Cowan delivering a very good first pitch there, and the Majors arm today trying to deliver a solid, we'll say, 100 pitches. I don't know what the Majors are looking for out of their arm today, but it is Pedro de los Santos taking the hill for just his 5th start of the season, if you include the regular season.
Yeah, and the last time he faced these Panthers, albeit at Jack Couch Park, we had this discussion before we came on the air here about how much you want to forget it, I would say. That game, a 12-8 loss for the Majors, that included 11 earned runs given up by De Los Santos. But I think in this situation, it may favor the Majors. You go hard with Owen Boone in Game 1, if you want to put the quotes around it. And then you go soft here with De Los Santos. And from the other side, the left-hander here this evening should be definitely a big change for the Panthers' bats.
It'll be a very different look for Kitchener as Pedro de los Santos takes the hill. And you mentioned that rough outing against Kitchener in Kitchener all the way back on July 23rd. After that game, he did not pitch again until last weekend in Welland. And what a bounce back that was.
Yeah, it was. An 8-5 win for the Majors, win number 2 in that 4-game win streak to end the regular season for the Majors. 4 earned, 7 hits across 6 innings of work, 8 strikeouts in those 6 innings as well. And I think any time that you go out, face the top team in the Intercounty Baseball League, you shut them down as much as he did, that absolutely earns you a start in the playoffs.
He'll be facing a pretty good Kitchener Panthers lineup, led off by Jet Jarvis. He's in right field today as he strides into the batter's box. Andy Leader follows him. He's in center. Raul Gonzalez batting third. The shortstop, Liam Wilson, batting cleanup. Elliot Curtis batting fifth. Junior Ibarra batting sixth. Stephen Whalen, Marcel Lacasse, and Humberto Ruiz round out the Panthers lineup as Pedro de los Santos gets the sign from Eduardo De Olio and goes into the windup. First pitch, Jarvis swinging away, sends that one in the air to left field. And Starling Joseph takes a couple of steps to his left and puts this one away for the first out.
And that's exactly what you want coming in. Home field for the first time in the playoffs this season. 1 pitch, 1 out. Want to make quick work of the Panthers as much as possible. They led the league in home runs throughout the regular season. Again, Jack Couch Park helps out with that, but there is a lot of power in this lineup, so the quicker you can retire them is way better than keeping them at the plate for as long as possible.
That'll bring up a pretty solid bat in Andy Leader, a guy who's been doing it in the IBL for a very long time. Here's the first pitch. He'll square to bunt. It's taken for a strike called by the home plate umpire in this contest, Mike Kinnear. The other umpires at third base is Jamie Killingsworth, and at first is Ryan Herron. Leader digs into the batter's box and stares out at De Los Santos, who goes into the windup and delivers the 0-1. That's in there for strike 2.
And a big addition here for the Majors in Game 2 is Mr. De Olio back behind the plate. Definitely a plus for them.
Here's the 0-2 home, breaking ball. That one missed high. Didn't look like it broke very much. It's 1-2, and you mentioned it, Reece. Eduardo De Olio back behind the plate, a guy who had 13 home runs this season in limited playing time because of how much time he missed due to injury. A really impressive bat and a good guy to have back in the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just, without Brownlee in tonight, it's a guy that you wanted to have back, and I don't know if it was a necessity, but it definitely helps, that's for sure.
Here comes the 1-2 from Pedro de los Santos. Leader sends that one in the air. It's into foul territory. Kane McGee's giving chase, and that one will be about 3 rows deep, so it's a foul ball. And we'll try it again on 1-2 against Leader.
Yeah, and De Los Santos here against Leader, it's nice to see him work that outside of the plate again. You're not going to see the hard stuff like you saw with Boone yesterday. So if you're able to stay away, get these guys reaching to roll the ball over, it's for sure part of the game plan.
Here's the 1-2. That one misses high to Leader. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 on its way. Leader pops that one in the air. Foul territory. DeOlio giving chase. Going to be a long run, and that one drops foul.
This is an at-bat you wanted if you're Kitchener. Following 1 pitch, 1 out from Jarvis. Andy Leader doing his best leadoff impersonation here as a number 2 hitter, making De Los Santos work early on. Jarvis, he'll swing early if his pitch is there. We're going to see that throughout this series, but Leader doing a nice job following up, seeing as many pitches as possible and giving his team as much information as he can.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Leader. It's been a 6-pitch at-bat so far. De Los Santos tries to put him away here, and he does. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Andy Leader goes down on strikes, and Pedro De Los Santos has recorded the first 2 outs at the top of the first inning.
Yeah, and that's big for him to get the first 2, as little traffic as possible that you can have on the bases when this next man comes up. Raul Gonzalez is definitely a bonus, and De Los Santos won that battle with Leader. Again, tip your cap to Leader, but De Los Santos was just better in that first battle here tonight.
As you mentioned, Raul Gonzalez steps into the batter's box, hit .378 this season, 13 home runs, 54 runs batted in, fouls off the first pitch he sees from De Los Santos. A real strong MVP candidate in the IBL this year. De Los Santos looks in. Into the windup he goes. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now.
Gonzalez, I'd say, a pretty successful season here at Labatt Park in the 3 games he played. 5 for 14, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, and 2 runs in this ballpark.
Here comes the 0-2 from De Los Santos. Just missed the inside corner. A few of the majors thought that he found it, but home plate umpire Mike Kinnear says no dice.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch early on, but it's way too early to let it bother you. Just got to get back on the bump, focus on that next pitch.
It takes a lot to rattle Pedro De Los Santos out there on the mound, so he'll look to shake that, regroup, and put Gonzalez away. Rocks into the windup, 1-2 home. Just off the plate again, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it looked like Gonzalez started walking back to his own dugout as much as the majors did. I think he thought it was strike 3 as well.
A throw from Eduardo DeOlio back to De Los Santos nearly went into center field. Majors defensively today, Starling Joseph's in left, Drew Lawrence in center, Byron Reichstein's in right, Dan Battel's at third, Tommy Reyes-Cruz at shortstop, Brett Graham at second base, Kane McGee over at first, and Eduardo DeOlio, the battery mate of Pedro De Los Santos, who has a 2-2 count on Raul Gonzalez. De Los Santos delivers. In the air, it's not overly deep into right field. Graham going out, gives way to Byron Reichstein, who is there to put this one away. And Reese couldn't ask for a better start if you're Pedro De Los Santos. Gets a good top 3 in the Panthers lineup, down 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely, and I think what's important is there wasn't really any hard contact in that inning. He kept the Panthers off balance there in the top of the first, and that's going to have to be the story of the night for him to be successful and get his team the win.
Well, you mentioned it. No real hard contact there from the Panthers. The weak fly ball to left field, the weak fly ball to right field, and the strikeout of Andy Leader was all the Kitchener Panthers managed to get across in that first inning. The Majors now head to the bats, led by Drew Lawrence in center field, followed by Byron Reichstein in right, then Starling Joseph. Tommy Reyes-Cruz in the cleanup spot. He separates Joseph and Eduardo DeOlio. Kane McGee bats 6th after DeOlio. Austin Wilkie, Dan Battel, Brett Graham round things out. Reese, you mentioned it briefly in the top half of the first inning. No Cleveland Brownlee in this Majors lineup after he got hit by a pitch yesterday in Kitchener. We may not see Cleveland for a little while, it sounds like, and that's a bit of a blow to this Majors offense.
Yeah, it is, and not that we're looking at an all-star season here from Cleveland Brownlee, but the fact that he can be in a lineup every single night and have an impact in the dugout is huge, and to not have him as part of the lineup in the middle of that Majors lineup is definitely different. I know there are still a lot of fans out there, whether it be here, whether it be at Jack Couch Park for the other games in this first round, Sir Brownlee, because of the amount of success he has had in this league and the impact he's had on both his teammates, his coaches, fans here, as well as around the IBL.
Cleveland Brownlee certainly an impactful guy as Yadian Martinez takes the hill for the Kitchener Panthers. He is the man called upon to face off against this in 5 games this season, 2 of them against the Majors. Got the win in both of those games. Here's the first pitch in there for a strike to Drew Lawrence. 0-1. The first game a little more unsuccessful for Martinez than the second. Went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs. Still did get the win in that game as mentioned. The second appearance against the Majors was in London, and he threw a complete game. That one off the plate outside, 1-1. Martinez looks in to experienced catcher Junior Ibarra. Lawrence fouls that one off, and it is 1-2.
The Majors here just stick to the game plan that you had last night in Kitchener against Hauk. Martinez, a guy you're going to want to make him throw as many pitches as he can early on. Try and get into that bullpen, tire them out as much as possible.
Working quickly, here comes the 1-2 to Drew Lawrence. Breaking ball, Lawrence flares this one and will get down into center field. So Drew Lawrence leads off the ball game with a base hit, and he stands over at first for Byron Reichstein.
Yeah, and that was a pitch that just got way too much to the plate. 1-2 count there. You would expect something off or down, potentially a fastball up above the zone. That's just a hanger that got way too much of the plate. And as much as we talk about the Panthers being number 1 in the IBL in home runs, Majors were right behind them. They were number 2 with 50 on the season. So if your pitches are catching too much of the plate, the Majors will absolutely do damage tonight.
Byron Reichstein will step into the batter's box here. He's got a runner over at first base against Yadian Martinez. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and away for ball 1. Martinez looks in and sets out there on the mound. Lawrence takes his lead at first. Not a big one. Reichstein fouls that one off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
What works out well here for Lawrence leading off the offensive night for the Majors is now you give yourself so many options with him on base. He's able to impact the game, of course, not only in the batter's box, but on the base paths as well.
Lawrence pretty healthy lead over there, and Martinez saw that as well. He issues a throw over, and Drew is back safely.
A situation here might call for the hit and run. First 2 pitches were towards the outside part of the plate, so look for Reichstein to try and shoot that to left.
Ibarra sets up on the outside again, and that one misses up and away just as the first pitch did, so 2-1 the count. Looks like Ibarra's kind of setting up, anticipating a steal from Drew Lawrence.
Yeah, that pitch out that really doesn't exist anymore, but in my opinion, it's still very effective. Yeah, you take a ball, but gives yourself a really good opportunity to throw a runner out.
Here's the 2-1 home. Reichstein fouls that one off as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Martinez has missed the zone twice, and Reichstein's fouled a ball off 2 times as well. Two and 2 the count as Martinez looks in for the sign. Lawrence the lead off of first. Not running. That one up and away to Reichstein. All 3 balls in this count have missed in the exact same spot.
Yeah, and good recognition by Reichstein, clearly understanding what they're trying to do here, and he would have picked that up the first 2 pitches of this at-bat, so good on him. You know, the pitches he fouled off were close, and I agree offering at them, but good job recognizing those balls.
Full count pitch. Reichstein swings through that one for strike 3. So Byron Reichstein works a pretty lengthy at-bat, but goes down swinging, and there's 1 gone in the bottom of the first inning.
I'd still say that's a productive at-bat for him. Tough to go down on strikes in this situation. None out runner on first, but, you know, again, like we saw with Leader, the second hitter for the Panthers tonight, Reichstein does the same thing. He just has a long at-bat, an extended at-bat where he works it full and getting as much information as possible here early on from Martinez.
So that'll bring up Starling Joseph, and Joseph was the man who gave the Majors their original lead last night with the 2-run home run that plated Byron Reichstein. Here's the pitch. Misses for ball 1.
Yeah, still not convinced that ball has landed yet. From what I've been told, it was a shot at Jack Couch.
I was actually talking to somebody from Kitchener today, and he was saying that he walked past the highway and he thought he saw a baseball on the ramp there. In there for a strike to Joseph, 1-1. Joseph has tons of pop, and he put that on display last night. He put that on display in batting practice. He was wowing you and I up here in the broadcast booth watching the Majors take their swings. Quick throw over to first base. Lawrence back with the dive again.
Yeah, he's a guy that when he's in the batting cage and we're out in center field setting up that camera that gives you that great shot, got to be careful of those balls flying out there. I know Matt Hiscox had a close call a couple of Fridays ago with Joseph in the cage.
1 ball, 1 strike. Lawrence is on the move from first base. Was a hit and run. Joseph came up empty on the swing. The throw from Junior Ibarra is perfect, and Drew Lawrence is caught stealing.
Yeah, hit and run on there. It was a breaking ball that was away, and with Joseph being a right-handed hitter, really Ibarra clear shot right down to second base. Whalen was a little bit late getting to the bag. However, where the throw was, kind of was in perfect position to make the tag.
So that eliminates the lone base run of the Majors had in this inning. So 2 gone for Starling Joseph, now facing a 2-strike count. Martinez kind of quick pitched him there a little bit, sped up the delivery, and it missed, 2-2.
Yeah, Joseph's a guy, he can't be comfortable in the box or else it's not going to turn out well if you're on the mound. So you got to do anything you can to try and put him off balance and screw up his timing.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Offering on its way to Martinez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yadier Martinez sets down Starling Joseph swinging. It's a pair of strikeouts for him in the inning, and the caught stealing makes the third. We're through 1 complete here at Labatt Park. No score between the Majors and Panthers.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back for the second inning of play between the Majors and the Panthers here on MajorsTV. Both teams going down 1-2-3 in the first inning, just in different fashions.
Yeah, real quick innings, more quick by Pedro de los Santos, but yeah, they each faced the minimum, and a good start for both of them. We saw offense early yesterday. Looks like it might be a little bit different here tonight.
Beautiful day for baseball here at Labatt Park. You get a look at some of the fans here. Thanks to our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. The 10U Dorchester Diamondbacks in town to take in this game, and they took the field with the Majors prior to first pitch. You get a look at the skyline there. Just a gorgeous night for a ball game in downtown London.
Yeah, it's still, well, it's not really an argument, but still the best backdrop in the Intercounty Baseball League. It's really not close. In terms of ballparks, it's still number one. And, you know, mentioned it last week on the broadcast. We're going to be seeing some championship plaques posted on the brick walls here at Labatt Memorial Park, so that'll just add to the fan experience here, displaying all that history that this franchise has.
Absolutely. There, I think, are 1 or 2 championship plaques up there right now, but the Alumni Association for the Majors, they really wanted to get championship plaques for all the championship teams, right? There have been several for the Majors in their rich history, and so they want to honor all of those teams as you walk into Labatt Park here to take in a ball game. Second inning about to get underway as Liam Wilson steps into the batter's box. Wilson, always a power threat. First pitch from Pedro de los Santos. Wilson skies this one to left field. Joseph initially broke in, now back. He is camped under it. It hung up a while, but he makes the catch, and there's one gone in the top of the second.
Yeah, the exact same way de los Santos starts the first to a T. First pitch, fly out to left field. That one having to take Joseph back a little bit, however, makes it look very, very easy for the first out. And again, a nice start to an inning for de los Santos.
So that'll bring up Elliot Curtis. He's the designated hitter today for the Kitchener Panthers. First offering from de los Santos finds the zone for strike 1.
And as important as quick outs will be, it's also going to be big for de los Santos to get ahead 0-1.
That one fouled off by Curtis, so now he's ahead 0-2. Working ahead in the count is Pedro right now. Into the windup, he rocks. Here comes the 0-2 home. Just off the plate, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 from de los Santos. Curtis flares this one, shallow right field. That's going to get down in fair territory. Brett Graham giving chase. Curtis a hard turn around first, and he'll stay there with a bloop single. For a moment there, Reese, I thought that might get far enough that Curtis could stretch that into 2.
Yeah, because you could see Reichstein really wasn't going to get there in time. It was Graham getting there and keeping him at first base, keeping Curtis at first base. Because you saw the turn. He was running hard right out of the box, and he was destined to go to second. It just the hustle by Graham kept him at first.
So Junior Ibarra steps into the batter's box now. Ibarra, Cuban catcher, who has come to the Panthers this season. First pitch misses high. Hit .270 in the regular season. 3 homers for him. De los Santos will step off and regroup here before delivering the 1-0.
And Ibarra, a lot of success in this ballpark this season. 4 for 10, home run, couple of RBIs and runs scored. So somewhere he's enjoyed playing this season.
1-0 count. De los Santos delivers. Ibarra on the ground, finds the hole, and it'll get through into left field. So it's back-to-back singles for the Kitchener Panthers, and now they've got a man positioned in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, another pitch that got too much of the plate there. It not really hit the hardest, but still it got enough plate that Ibarra was able to poke it to left and get himself a base hit here. But this matchup coming up here with Whalen definitely favors de los Santos. You got the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Just looking for that ground ball. Just 1 pitch away from getting yourself out of the inning.
Stephen Whalen into the batter's box. Here's the pitch, cut on and missed on the good offering from de los Santos there. It is 0-1. Boy, oh boy, the sun is beginning to set here at Labatt Park, and it is just gorgeous on this Friday night. 0-1. That's there for strike 2 on Whalen.
Yet another hitter, de los Santos gets up 0-2, and he can do whatever he wants here in this count with Whalen.
Needs to record an out. He'll take it any way he can. Would love to roll a double play ball and potentially get out of this inning. Pedro sets and delivers to Whalen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A big strikeout for Pedro de los Santos, and now he's got 2 away with 2 runners on.
Yeah, really only 2 or 3 outcomes that you wanted in that situation. He got one of them, which was a strikeout. You look at the double play ground ball or an infield fly. That's really the best situation for him. Looking at Curtis, a guy that can easily score on a base hit. So if you can keep him at second base there with 2 down, then that's a job well done by De Los Santos.
That'll bring up Marcel Lacasse. First pitch to Lacasse is in there for strike 1. Lacasse, a former Barrie Baycat, trying to come up clutch here. Oh, 1 count. 2 outs here in the frame. Offering on its way to from De Los Santos, That's off the plate outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now. De Los Santos gets the sign he wants, and Ruddy's out there on the rubber. Here comes the 1-1. Hit hard on the ground and foul, 1-2.
Again, another situation in this at-bat that he can do anything that he wants to. 1-2, not as much room to work with as you do 0-2, but still, in this situation, you got to make sure you get a quality strike across, and that's not necessarily across the plate. It's just something that looks enticing enough for about 50 to 55 feet to get a swing and miss here from Lacasse.
1-2 count. De Los Santos looks in for the sign, and he was taking too long for the liking of Marcel Lacasse, so he'll step out of the batter's box and try again. De Los Santos sets, he delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pedro De Los Santos allows 2 runners to reach, but strands them both thanks to back-to-back strikeouts, and we head to the bottom of the second inning, still scoreless.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling of De Los Santos made mistakes over the plate. He got hit and put into a tough situation. He solves it himself with a couple of Ks on 2 swings that were really not good at all by Panthers hitters.
So we are through 1.5 innings here at Labatt Memorial Park as you get a look at the beautiful skyline on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. It looks great on camera right now. I'm telling you, and Reese, I'm sure you can confirm this, it looks even better in person.
Yeah, it really does. The skyscrapers out beyond the outfield wall, across the river, it looks phenomenal. And I think Budweiser Gardens just ties everything in the point of the year we are, mid to end of August. It's becoming that time. So I think you throw everything into it here in London. It's the best view you're going to have.
Absolutely it is. You mentioned Budweiser Gardens. The night's getting underway here shortly in the city of London. We're hoping to bring you an interview with first pitch guest Easton Cowan later in the ball game if he's up for it, as he takes in this Majors game at Labatt Park on this Friday night. Majors got one on in the first inning, but could not push Drew Lawrence across. He got caught stealing him. It was a pretty good throw from Junior Ibarra.
It was, and on a pitch that you would expect someone to steal. As I mentioned, it was a breaking ball. It was in the outside batter's box, a hit-and-run situation. Joseph swung and missed, but he had to be off balance a little bit, Ibarra, but the throw was there. Again, Whalen late to the bag, but the placement of that throw from Ibarra worked in Whalen's favor in order to tag Lawrence ahead of the bag.
So for the Majors, it'll be 4, 5, and 6 in their lineup in the bottom of the second inning. Tommy Reyes Cruz will be followed by Eduardo De Olio and Kane McGee. As the Ballflowers break out a new chant. I don't know if I've heard the TRC chant before.
I was only introduced to them last Friday for the regular season finale here at Labatt Memorial Park, at least for the home schedule for the Majors. Yeah, they were just as loud a week ago as they are today.
It's a really good time, Reese, I got to tell you, on the weekday games where there are less fans in attendance, and the Ballflowers make themselves the most known in those games because they are so loud no matter the day.
Yeah, they got to make up for some of the fans that may not come out midweek. So, no, that's nice to see.
That pitch cut on and missed by Reyes Cruz.
They trying to match the Bushmen in Toronto? Are we having a little bit of a competition here?
And you know what I love about that is that they're both nature-themed. You got the Ballflowers and the Bushmen. That one misses. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I guess that helps playing each other in back-to-back IBL finals.
Absolutely it does.
Yeah.
2 balls, 1 strike the count to Reyes Cruz. Hits that one on the ground. Diving stop by Wilson at first. Spins and races to the bag. He's got Reyes Cruz. And there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, ball not hit hard enough to get through. It was just a matter of who was going to tag first base and record the out. But Wilson doing a nice job, having to go into a slide to make that play. Gets it on the backhand and easily plenty of time to get over to first base to beat Reyes Cruz there.
So that'll bring up Eduardo DeOlio, and quickly before he steps into the batter's box, looks like he needs a bit of a pine tar refresher on his bat. So he'll get that from a member of the Majors bench staff and stride into the batter's box here to follow up Reyes Cruz against Yadier Martinez. First pitch to DeOlio is in there for a strike, 0-1. Joining us now in the Game Day London broadcast booth is member of the London Knights and 2023 first-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Easton Cowan. Easton, good to see you again. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me out here.
I got to ask, you threw the ceremonial first pitch today. What was going through your head before you threw that?
Yeah, obviously pretty cool to give back, to the community here. And I played for Kamoka, under Roop there. So it was pretty cool, to see him again. And lots of fans out here today, and hopefully they can pull out the win here.
Yeah, this kind of gets you set for the night season. As full as Budweiser Gardens gets, you look at Labatt Memorial Park. It's like this more times than not. Does that get you fired up to get ready back on the ice and see that sellout crowd?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, all the Majors fans are, kind of Knights fans too. So it's good there, and a bunch of support for both teams, and I'm really excited to get back going there and can't wait for that first preseason game.
Eduardo DeOlio fouls that one straight back to the screen, putting up a fight here against Yadier Martinez in a 1-2 count. The past couple of months have had to be busy for you. What's that been like?
It's been pretty surreal, obviously. I'm really, excited to be going through it with my family and friends, and, it still hasn't really sunk in, so it's been really cool, and like I said, just can't wait to get back there, with the Knights and get things rolling there at the Bud.
Have you had a chance to breathe throughout the offseason with all of this?
A bit, yeah. You get out for some peaceful golf rounds with your buddies and stuff, so that's been great. But, yeah, just trying to enjoy it right now and obviously take a couple days off here and as, camp starts next Thursday.
2-2 is cut on and missed by DeOlio there, so he goes down on strikes for the second out of the bottom of the 2nd inning, and that'll bring up Kane McGee. Last season, you guys fell just short in the OHL final against Peterborough. You mentioned training camp gets underway on Thursday. What's the mentality around the Knights as you head into this new season?
Yeah, obviously we had a great, season there. Unfortunately, came up a bit short there. So, we got kind of that revenge tour kind of, attitude to us. And, we got, a lot to prove there. And we got a great group of young guys coming up and a great team here. So, we're all looking forward to get back to the rink and get things going.
What was the biggest thing you learned throughout that playoff run, whether it was from something you experienced on the ice, whether it was a message that you may have gotten from one of the older guys, but throughout that run, what was kind of the thing that you're taking away into this next season?
You learn a lot. We brought in those 3 hammer boys there, so they all knew how to win, and like I said, unfortunately came a bit short, but you learn that, you get that experience, playing in front of all those cameras, TSN games, all those people, wherever you go, there's people watching. So having that experience is good, and, to show these young guys coming up what's it like, it'll be huge for us this year.
The Majors now in the playoffs, playing Game 2 of the quarterfinals. They look to embark on a long run in the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. What do you think was the key to your run last season with the Knights?
I think we just had a great team. We really focused on our systems from the coaches, and we all came together as a club there. So it was, really special, and, it was a year I'll never forget, even though it was unfortunately not the way we wanted it to end.
I want to ask you about early in the season. You guys were kind of in the same situation as Kitchener. It was like, what the heck's going on in these two cities? But for you guys, as soon as George came over from Hamilton, a move that the Bulldogs kind of had to make, it seemed like you guys really came together and started to really understand what it took to win. What would you say got you there? Was it George himself, or was it you guys just maybe having a meeting or something to discuss everything?
Obviously, he was one of our co-captains, so he brought a lot of leadership over, and we had a lot of, team meetings and, team building exercises to come together as a team. So he, he taught us a lot there, and we really leaned on him, obviously, as an older guy. So he helped us out a lot, but like I said, it was a team effort, and we all came together as a team.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count here on Kane McGee as Martinez delivers the offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Easton, thank you so much for joining us today in the Game Day London broadcast booth here at Labatt Park. Not sure how long you're staying, but enjoy the rest of the ball game. Good to see you again, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take a quick break and be right back on Majors TV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back at Labatt Park for the 3rd inning. Another big thank you to Easton Cowan for joining us in the Game Day London broadcast booth for this contest. Cowan, a former Camoka King, now a London Knight, and of course a draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We didn't have enough time in that inning, Reece, because I wanted to ask him his thoughts on the Austin Matthews contract extension, but didn't have a chance.
Yeah, I think that's goal number 1, to get on the Leafs with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to say he'll be moving on after that deal, but there's always the chance.
There is a chance, yeah. Matthews re-up for 4 seasons in Toronto, Ballflowers. Complimentary of Humberto Ruiz as he steps up to the plate to face Pedro de los Santos. Ruiz, a former London Major, was part of the 2021 championship team. De los Santos, a former teammate of Ruiz. That one's in there for a strike, 0-1.
And 9-1-2 hitters due up here for Kitchener. Definitely a situation you don't want anybody on coming up for Jarvis.
No swing, says the first base umpire, so it is 1-1 now the count. One ball, one strike offering. Ruiz skies that one on the infield. Brett Graham is under it, and he's got it. There's one gone now in the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, that's 3 straight innings that De Los Santos has gotten a ball in the air. First 2 in the top of the 1st, top of the 2nd. We were looking at fly balls to left field that Joseph took care of. Here you get a pop-up on the infield. Again, if you can allow the leadoff hitter to not reach, then that gives yourself such a huge chance to have a clean inning and not have to worry about anything on the base paths.
0-1 count here to Jet Jarvis. Squaring around to bunt and didn't pull back on a pitch that looked to be way up and in on him. It's 0-2.
Yeah, and that was 50-50 whether he would have pulled back or not. I thought that was even close as well. But, yeah, a pitch that wasn't near the strike zone.
Here comes the 0-2 from De Los Santos and does not get the call from the home plate umpire here, Mike Kinnear. And that's the 3rd pitch that De Los Santos has thought he had. Kinnear hearing about it from the Majors dugout. Looked like pitching coach Brent Wales voicing his displeasure as Jarvis flares that one shallow left field. Joseph coming in, and he's got it. So Jarvis 0 for 2 on the day with 2 flyouts to left.
And that was a ball that Joseph, I don't think, saw right away. Needed some help from his infielders. You saw him put his hands in the air and trying to find that baseball, but able to pick it up late. He came in enough that he had enough time to get to it, but we're at that point of the game where the sky can be a little bit tough depending on where the ball's hit.
So Andy Leader will step into the batter's box here for the Kitchener Panthers. Leader is 0 for 1 today. Hits that one hard on the ground, foul, 0-1.
Leader with an extended at-bat there in the first inning. Eventually went down on strikes, however, put himself together a pretty good at-bat here against De Los Santos.
That pitch misses high, 1 ball and 1 strike. And yeah, you mentioned, I think he saw 6 or 7 pitches in that at-bat. After a quick first out of the ball game, he did a good job working De Los Santos a little bit. Here comes the 1-1. Cut on and missed, 1-2 to Leader.
And there's De Los Santos' ability to be around the strike zone early on here has put himself in a lot of favorable counts to get quick outs.
That one misses the inside corner. De Los Santos was halfway to the dugout there.
That looked pretty good.
It did, and you know what? You're not making any friends by running halfway to the dugout, but for De Los Santos, I mean, it's been several pitches that he's thought he should have that he just has not gotten the call on.
Yeah, and every time you start to walk towards the dugout, you don't get the call. The strike zone shrinks a little bit more.
Leader smokes that one, but it's well foul. Count remains 2-2.
And I think all umpires understand the situation that players are in when they think they get strike 3. They get an opportunity to get off the field, get their offense back to the plate. You want that call, and you want to compete as much as possible.
2-2 misses the inside corner, and he's not getting that one after the last one, so count runs full.
It's just that mentality you have to compete. And with this being a playoff game, everybody's amped up. They're all ready to go. You just want as many calls as you can.
Stopped on the ground, right back towards the mound. De Los Santos a bobble, and he won't make a throw as Leader is able to reach for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, and that would have been a bang-bang play either way if De Los Santos would have come up with that or not. Leader runs very well down the line. You knew he was going to make it close. Just looked like De Los Santos may have tried to come up a little bit too early before he had that ball to make the throw.
So Leader reaches on what has been scored a hit for the Panthers center fielder, and Raul Gonzalez steps up to the plate. First pitch to Gonzalez will miss for ball 1. Pedro looks into the sign and now sets out there on the mound. Offering on its way in the dirt and scooped by Deolio. 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Andy Leader stands at first base after the single back to the mound. Quick throw over from De Los Santos, and he is back standing.
This is really, we've only seen it maybe once or twice so far early on where De Los Santos has really gotten behind to a point that he's just got to make a perfect pitch here. 2-0, can't leave anything over the middle of the plate here.
That one misses high, 3 balls and no strikes.
I'd even say here 3-0, you got to make sure that it's not right down the middle. Not a get me over fastball here just to get yourself a strike.
Well, it seems like De Los Santos has kind of been shaken up a little bit by the calls that haven't gone his way from the home plate umpire. And he's missed a strike zone 3 times in a row to Gonzalez there. Smokes that one into left center field. Joseph giving chase, and he runs that baseball down to record the final out of the top of the 3rd inning. Starling Joseph, a great play over there, and he reels that ball in for an impressive final out of the frame.
Yeah, and that definitely saves a run. Leader was already halfway between 2nd and 3rd, closer to 3rd. When Joseph came up with that baseball. So easily would have been 1-0 Kitchener at that point. If it goes to the wall, there's a chance Gonzalez may get to 3rd as well with how hard it was hit and how quick it might get to that fence. So, highlight reel play for Joseph. That might be one we'd be looking at if it ends up being a 1-run, 2-run game by the end of it. That could be a play we look back on to say, if that gets down, it might have been a different story.
Absolutely, it might have been. Starling Joseph had to make a really good play there. He had a really long way to go to reel that baseball in. Made the catch on the run for a big final out of the inning and gets the Majors back on the bats. There you see Cleveland Brownlee in the dugout on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. Cleveland, of course, not playing today after the hit by pitch yesterday and hoping that his Majors offense can get something going against Yadigan Martinez, who has been pretty solid so far for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, he's only faced the minimum through 2, giving up the 1 hit, but he's got his catcher to thank for erasing Drew Lawrence, who tried to steal second, but 4 strikeouts through the first 6 hitters. He's dealing, and he's in a groove right from the start. Majors got to get something going as quick as possible, try and stop the rhythm that he's in right now, or stop the groove that he's in right now, because he looks very good.
So that'll bring up Austin Wilkie. We apologize if you're getting this message. We are experiencing some internet issues at the moment. But not sure if that's even going to be heard by those of you tuning in from home as Austin Wilkie steps into the batter's box. Wilkie to face Martinez for the first time tonight. 7-8-9 for the Majors as Wilkie checks his swing. Called strike there from the home plate umpire. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2.
And those first 2 pitches being breaking balls towards the outside part of the plate. Now you can go even further here with a little bit of room to work with, 0-2.
0-2 from Martinez, that one misses, and it is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You just open up so many possibilities for yourself on the mound when you get ahead 0-1, 0-2.
That doesn't find the strike zone, and it is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's why a lot of pitching coaches still preach that the best pitch in baseball is strike 1.
Absolutely it is. You get ahead, it's a completely different at-bat than if you fall behind early. Here's the 2-2 home. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Lots of movement on that pitch from Yadigan Martinez, and Wilkie goes down looking for the first out.
Yeah, he's just carving the Majors up right now. And whether that call is not favorable, whether you think it wasn't a strike or not, you haven't really proved early on here your ability to put the ball on the bat, or to put the bat on the ball, with this being strikeout number 5 already. Majors not really keeping the Panthers defense involved. Now, that has to do with Martinez being pretty nasty early on, but you got to be able to establish yourself to be able to put the bat on the ball and get something in play to give yourself a chance.
Well, it'll be Dan Battelle trying to do that here against Martinez. Behind on the count 0-1. That one hit right back up the middle. And just as you were saying, Reese, the Majors put one in play and get on the bases.
Yeah, and it's been a welcome sight for the Majors. The bottom part of their order has been very good throughout that 4-game win streak to end the regular season. Yeah, you're going to have your major contributors in the middle of the lineup near the top, Lawrence Reichstein, Joseph, Reyes, Cruz, but it's been the bottom of the lineup where we've seen Battelle, we've seen Graham, even McGee in that 6th spot contribute throughout that winning streak. And the deeper the Majors can make that lineup, the better chance that they have to giving themselves a chance to win this series.
First pitch to Brett Graham is fouled off for strike 1. Graham trying to turn things over to the top of the order and have the big boys try to do some damage. He's got Battelle over at first base.
Just start putting pressure on Martinez. He hasn't had a stressful inning yet, albeit we're only in the 3rd, but it's got to happen at some point in order to pull out a win here.
Yeah, Martinez really hasn't had to face much aside from Drew Lawrence getting on. Hasn't had to face anything at all ever since Drew Lawrence was caught stealing by Junior Ibarra behind the plate. Quick throw over to check on Battelle, and he's back with a dive. Now, I saw Battelle was halfway to second on that foul ball. Was he running on the pitch, Reese, or did he just jump on the foul ball?
You know what? Potentially. when you've had the struggles early on that the Majors have had here in this game, something's got to change. You got to make something happen in a different way if it's not going right at the plate. So I like the move to get a runner in motion and try and put a ball on the ground, albeit to the right side with a right-handed batter up. You put the second baseman, Stephen Whalen, in a position to go cover the bag. That hole opens up towards right field, gives Battelle an opportunity to go first to third if he's on the move.
We'll see if he's running again here. Check on Dan Battelle, and he is hearing it from this home crowd. 0-1, swing and a miss from Graham. He chases a pitch well off the plate outside, and it's 0-2.
That's been a very effective pitch for Martinez early on. That breaking ball low and away. Again, here in a position you can go even further than that 0-1 pitch was. Just been one of those pitches that have been spot on here early in the game.
Trying to put away Brett Graham here on 0-2. Here's the pitch. That's off the plate outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We've seen him pitch backwards in this inning, starting hitters off soft and then going hard when he gets ahead 0-1, 0-2. Did the same thing to Wilkie. He got ahead 0-2 with breaking balls and then goes with the fastball with 2 strikes.
We'll see what he comes with on 1-2. That's chopped on the ground. Going to be a tough play. Coming in the third baseman, Lacasse. And the throw to first is just in time to get Brett Graham. Bang, bang play over at first base. And Marcel Lacasse, a nice job to retire the Majors' third baseman.
Yeah, and that's a nice job by Graham there, running it hard all the way. Again, that's a ball that you get frustrated over because you thought you got a good pitch to hit and you ended up rolling it over. So some guys maybe won't leg it out to first, but he did a nice job putting pressure on the defense to make it close. And you look at it still as a selfless at-bat because you did a job, put the ball on the ground, you got the runner over to second, now an opportunity to give your teammate to get an RBI.
You mentioned a runner in scoring position here is Dan Battelle as Drew Lawrence steps in. Cut on and missed 0-1. Now, correction on what I previously said. I said Graham was a third baseman for the Majors. He's at second base. Dan Battelle is over at third. Those two can play both of those positions and rotate who's where quite often. Lawrence trying to cash Battelle from second as the Majors finally turn things back to the top of the order. Martinez holds, peeks back at second base, and delivers off the plate outside. 1-1.
There's a huge hole on the right side of the infield right now with Whalen having to keep an eye on Battelle over at second. Lawrence could just shoot that ball the other way.
We'll see if he goes to that open hole on the right side. That one misses. 2-1.
And I think that's what he's got to be looking for here. Martinez has worked a lot of hitters away, really hasn't come inside a whole lot. So if you're the Majors, this is the second time through.
You're right, Martinez has delivered a lot of his pitches off the plate outside of the Majors as that one is low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Lawrence, who is being very patient in this trip to the plate.
Get the ball 4 chance going. Love to hear it.
Crowd into it as usual. And now Martinez wants a new baseball. So Drew Lawrence will step back into the batter's box, and now he wants a new baseball again. I wonder if Martinez just doing this to mess with the crowd a little bit. I don't know if you saw him, but he was smiling on the pickoff moves when the crowd was getting on him, when he picked off 3 times in a row to first base.
He definitely thought about it with that next one. Absolutely.
3-1 the count here to Drew Lawrence. Here's the pitch on its way. Line straight back at the screen, and the count runs full now at 3-2.
That was a really good pitch to swing at for Lawrence, and I think he thought that he may have missed it. Again, towards the outer half of the plate that, just it's that perfect pitch to get a line drive single to score a run. So he's going to have to battle here 3-2 to shorten things up and get a ball on the ground.
Full count, 2 out. Battelle standing in scoring position, and Martinez steps off the rubber.
No one really watching Battelle at second. He can get a huge secondary lead here.
3-2 on its way. Lawrence chases a breaking ball off the plate outside, and Yadier Martinez lets out a big celebration as he strands a runner in scoring position for the Majors there, and we are through 3 complete with no score at Labatt Park. Reece Doumani taking you through the 4th and 5th on Majors TV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Get started at Planet Fitness today through the free PF app, online, or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park here on a beautiful Friday night. Game 2 in air quotes. Technically didn't finish Game 1. Rumors are it'll be played before Game 3 on Sunday in Kitchener. Warm-up tosses completed for De Los Santos, and there was an interesting conversation going on in between innings between the home plate umpire and the Majors field manager, Roop Chanderdat. I'm sure it's got something to do with those reactions from both De Los Santos and DeOlio leaving the field a little bit too early or leaving the field on balls that they may have thought have been strikes. So maybe a conversation now going on between the home plate umpire and DeOlio about that. And of course, you never want to get on the umpire's bad side, especially in a tight game in the playoffs. They have to understand guys are competing for strikes or competing for a championship here into the postseason. Majors looking to defend the title and get their 3rd straight championship. First pitch from De Los Santos misses for ball 1. He gets the middle of the order for the Kitchener Panthers: Liam Wilson, Elliot Curtis, and Junior Ibarra. Wilson led off the second inning, a fly ball to Joseph. It took him towards the gap in left center field, but Joseph making the play very easily as the 1-1 is fouled straight back. And again, another hitter that De Los Santos is ahead of.
I know that's interesting that yours will come here too.
Los Santos took a little bit too long to get that sign. Wilson will step out, regroup, and will do it again here, 1-2. Panthers with the early advantage in the hit column. 3 hits off of De Los Santos. Into the windup. The 1-2 is inside and catches Wilson. So for the first time in the game tonight, the Panthers have the leadoff man on. And, of course, to be successful, especially in the postseason, you can't be afraid to pitch inside, and especially against a lot of these Kitchener Panther hitters. Certain guys, they get those arms extended, and that ball may never come back. So to be able to pitch inside and pitch inside effectively, De Los Santos trying to do it there, 1-2. Just clips Wilson as that ball is going to get away from DeOlio, allowing Wilson to get up to second. So for the second time tonight, Panthers with a runner in scoring position. However, this time it's with none out. Curtis at the plate. Lefty-on-lefty matchup, which De Los Santos has had a lot of success with here early on in tonight's ball game. The 1-0 is taken for a strike. Curtis 1 for 1. Singled in the second, but was stranded at second base. De Los Santos, the pitch, it is swung on and missed. Wilson getting an extended lead out at second base. Getting the attention of Eduardo DeOlio. De Los Santos set again. The 1-2 is another close pitch called a ball. And as close as those pitches are, and as much as they may be strikes, give the Panthers credit for having a good eye at the plate and taking a lot of close pitches. 2-2, another close pitch called a ball. And again, you have to think that may be a result of De Los Santos and DeOlio maybe leaving the field a little bit too early before they hear strike 3. Again, something to watch out for as we get into the latter stages of the game. The 3-2 is going to be chopped foul towards the Panthers' dugout, so we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ibarra awaiting on deck. He is also 1 for 1 in the game. With the lefty hitter up, Reyes Cruz having to keep an eye on Wilson at second. A little bit of a hole on the left side. The 3-2 is inside, ball 4. So a couple of free passes here to start the 4th. And that will draw a mound visit here from Roop. Again, we saw it quite a bit in the last week of the season, where Roop just went out. He wasn't necessarily talking to his pitcher, and you can kind of see it now. He's just talking to everybody. He's trying to make sure that everybody understands what they need to do, what their pre-pitch preparation is for the next few hitters that are coming up, understanding where you're going with the baseball. Of course, this is a breather for Pedro De Los Santos as well. Mound visit broken up. That'll bring Ibarra to the plate. 1 for 1 so far. We'll see how the infield sets up here. First and second, none out. Looks like the Majors are going to go corners in. Of course, the middle going to play for that double play. One thing that De Los Santos also has to look out for. Again, he's 1 pitch away from getting a couple of outs and potentially a runner on third. So with a favorable matchup, lefty on lefty against Whalen in the on-deck circle. As Ibarra shows bunt, it goes right back to the screen. McGee charging hard from first.
Yeah, it looked like the mound visit there for Majors manager Rup Shanada was not only to calm down Pedro de los Santos, but also figure out what the defensive plan was going to be. You mentioned McGee charging hard. Patel not so much. He might read that bunt and stick at third.
Showing bunt again, but pretty much the same result, just a little bit higher on the screen of the backstop. Count no balls and 2 strikes. They'll allow the infield to rest a little bit here or relax a little bit.
Yeah, unlikely we see a bunt in this spot.
McGee not taking any chances, though, over there at first. Still playing in front of the runner.
Sometimes you can afford to play in front of the runner as a first baseman with a righty at the plate, though Ibarra does have some pretty good pop, just because it's likely not coming as hard if it's hit to you.
Nothing in 2, popped foul. Now, despite having a couple of runners on in the second inning, I'd say this inning is a little bit more stressful for De Los Santos. He had 1 out with a couple of runners on back in the second here. Still nobody retired. Wilson was hit by a pitch. He's at second. Curtis walked. He's at first. Nothing in 2. Will miss for ball 1.
Good pitch, though, from De Los Santos on 2 strikes. It was going to be tough for Ibarra to do any damage with that offering, but didn't get the call from the home plate umpire.
De Los Santos has his sign. Comes set. The 1-2 is popped foul again. And a good at-bat here from Ibarra. Original job was to get a bunt down, move some runners over. Plan has changed a little bit as the at-bat has gone on. He's had to spoil a couple of good pitches from De Los Santos.
Yeah, still trying to do that job, right? Trying to move these runners up 90 feet if he can. Just has to work a little bit harder for it because he couldn't get the bunt down in the first 2 pitches.
This 1-2 is hit in the air. Way foul, but very deep, showing off that pop that he does carry just a little bit out in front, and De Los Santos will absolutely take that as a long strike.
Absolutely. Box score just says that's a strike or a foul ball, but Ibarra certainly put a charge into that baseball.
Just a guy you really can't allow to extend those arms and hit the ball far. 1-2 again is upstairs.
Looked like De Los Santos tried to come with the high fastball there, and Ibarra just refused to chase as that one missed upstairs.
Try to put him away here. The 2-2 is fouled straight back, and this is one heck of a battle between De Los Santos and Ibarra.
Yeah, Ibarra doing a really good job fighting off some tough pitches. If you'll recall, he fell behind 0-2 very, very quickly because of the fact that he fouled off 2 bunt attempts. And now all of a sudden he's, 6-7 pitches deep into this at-bat, and he's still fighting against De Los Santos. Still nobody out, and the longer you work this pitcher, the more likely he is to leave one in the strike zone, leave you a pitch that's hittable.
2-2 in the dirt and blocked. Good job by Deolio to keep it in front, but that runs the count full. And after an at-bat that looked very promising for De Los Santos right off the hop, but as you mentioned, Ibarra staying tough in there, fouling off a lot of good pitches.
Not a guy who chases a lot. He had a .365 on base percentage, which was nearly 100 points higher than his already pretty good .270 batting average. So he will fight, he will not chase, and he'll try to work a walk if that's the best option for him.
De Los Santos set again. Check on the runner at second. 3-2 is going to be hit on the ground, and a nice diving play at third. Throw is in the dirt, and it can't be picked. That's going to allow Wilson to come home. Throw down to second is not in time. A lot happened on that play there. It started off with a beautiful dive from Battelle. Just throw was in the dirt, and Graham was unable to pick it.
Yeah, we'll see how that one's scored on the fielder's choice. Dan Battelle, a phenomenal diving stop, and Dr. Alex Colson and Majors manager Rube Chanardad heading out there right now to check on Battelle over at third base. But Ibarra finally puts one in play, ends the battle with De Los Santos, and a really great job by Battelle. It looked like he was shaded a little towards the third baseline and then had to range a little further than maybe he normally would to get that ball, cut it off, through to second, and if that ball was scooped, they at least get one out, but unfortunately not the case, and good aggression there from the Kitchener Panthers, waving Liam Wilson all the way to the plate.
So still none out. Pretty much the same situation, except a run is across. Whalen steps in. He shows bunt, fouls it off. Whalen 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the second. One of 3 strikeout victims on the night.
In case you're scoring at home, that one ruled an error on the second baseman that allows Wilson to score on a single for Ibarra.
0-1 shows bunt again, but misses. And again, similar situation here against Whalen. Quickly ahead, 0-2 after 2 bunt attempts. It's just a matter of De Los Santos putting him away. The 0-2, swung on and missed. He smashes his bat on the ground and breaks it in half.
Wow. Frustration there for Stephen Whalen. Good job by Pedro De Los Santos getting the strikeout for the first out. And now trying to regroup. Ground ball gets you out of the inning here if you're Pedro De Los Santos, if they can turn 2 on the infield.
These matchups have worked well for De Los Santos here through the fourth, as we're into the fourth, I should say. The lefty-on-lefty matchups, he's looked really good against these left-handed hitters. Minus this, as that ball is hit into center field, a base hit. They are going to hold the runner at third, as that is a strike from Lawrence right to the plate. So a nice jinx job by me leads to a single up the middle, and the Panthers now have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, Lacasse did a good job fighting that baseball off and blooping it into center field, but I think teams at this point in the season, now in the playoffs, have learned better than to run on Drew Lawrence's arm. He's shown it off a lot this year. Right there, another example, a cannon to the plate, and that keeps the runner at third.
Now Humberto Ruiz steps in, number 9 hitter for the Panthers. Popped out to second to lead off the third. This is the 6th hitter that the Panthers have sent to the plate here in the fourth. Majors playing corners in, middle playing for the double play. First pitch is up and in, ball 1.
Ruiz 0 for 1 with a pop-out last time, and De Los Santos, while he'd take a pop-out, would love a ball on the ground.
That pitch just outside, 2 balls and no strikes, so a favorable count here for Ruiz. Yeah, pop up on the infield, get yourself an infield fly. The 2-0 is right down Broadway, strike 1. De Los Santos into the windup, 2-1 pitch, taken for a strike. Another pretty good pitch that looked like it caught a lot of the plate, but taken.
Yeah, really good offering there from Pedro De Los Santos. Ruiz must have seen something that made it click in his head. I don't want to swing at this pitch, but it was right there.
Count even, 2-2. De Los Santos into the windup. It swung on and missed. Big K for the Majors left-hander. 2 down.
Wow, really good job there by Pedro De Los Santos, getting the swing and miss from Humberto Ruiz, who was no slouch to the plate for the Kitchener Panthers, but Pedro just located his pitches very, very well in that at-bat and was able to get a big strikeout.
Lineup turns over. Jet Jarvis 0 for 2. Hit a couple of fly balls to left field so far. First pitch in this at-bat is taken for a strike. De Los Santos looking to minimize the damage here. 1 run across so far for the Panthers. Into the windup to 0-1. Swung on and missed, and he is ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. To the Panthers' leadoff hitter.
If De Los Santos can get out of this inning only allowing the 1 run, I feel that's a big win.
The 0-2. Strike 3 called. Jarvis not in agreement one bit, but his opinion means absolutely nothing. Home plate umpire rings him up. Only 1 across against Pedro De Los Santos, and man, if that comes back to where the Majors are able to win this one, that is a spot that you look back at a job well done for the Majors, but for the Panthers, an opportunity missed.
Absolutely it was. I mean, the 1 run came in to score on an error on the throw to second base on an already great play by Dan Battelle, playing over at third in today's ball game, and great stop on the dive, then through to second base, and Brett Graham couldn't come up with that baseball. That allows the 1 run to score, but Drew Lawrence in center field has to get a little bit of credit for keeping the score where it's at, just because his arm was the one that was able to keep the runner over at third base. As you get a look at Owen Boone in the Majors dugout. Now, I mentioned Dan Battelle's nice play over at third base, Reese. Before the Majors took batting practice today, Owen Boone was on the field taking ground balls at third base. We got a look at him here on your screen. Owen Boone, who started yesterday's game that was suspended, was just out on the field taking some grounders at third prior to tonight's contest.
Yeah, and that's a nice sight to see. Not a chance that we probably ever see him there, but I mean, that's a nice way to stay loose. You know you're not throwing tonight, so why not? Majors going with jerseys coming into the ballpark today, so that was something cool to see throughout the playoffs. If you can get a little bit of style going,
absolutely. There were some good jerseys today. I don't know if you saw some of the pictures on social media, but some nice jerseys as Wilber Martinez begins to stretch out in the Majors bullpen.
That was kind of fitting. We got Easton Cowan in here. You did see a couple of Spider Knights jerseys.
Yep.
Make their way into the ballpark.
What do you think of those Spider Knight jerseys, Reese?
Design of the jersey, I like.
Yeah.
Logo, not so much. First pitch of the inning from Martinez is taken for ball 1. He will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters here for the Majors. It begins with Byron Reichstein, who 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time up, but worked himself a nice at-bat following up that Lawrence single. He awaits the 1-1. Here it is. It is not close. 2 balls and 1 strike. I think I'm just a big fan of the Knight's head, the classic Knight's head. I'm like, that's got to be their main logo that you see 68 times a year.
Can't go wrong with that logo. I mean, it's awesome. And the different iterations of it over the years, I think they've all been good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Favorable count here for Reichstein. 3 balls and 1 strike. Martinez will step back, take a breather. Reichstein will step out and do the same. The 3-1 is taken. Looks like it was near the top of the zone. I think Martinez thought it caught the top. But that'll give a free 90 to Reichstein, and Majors have the leadoff man on.
Yadier Martinez, pretty animated guy out there on the mound. Was pretty displeased with that strike call from the home plate umpire Mike Kinnear and spun around before he could even get the ball back in frustration. But ball 4 allows Reichstein to reach.
This is exactly how the Panthers got their run. Leadoff man got on because of a free 90. That's exactly how Martinez starts the bottom of the 4th, so we'll see what the Majors can do. It always seems like it's either a leadoff walk or a 2-out walk that hurts a pitcher. Here's Starling Joseph, first pitch to him. Martinez goes with the breaking ball, strike 1. You could tell right away Joseph was geared up for the heater.
Absolutely. Starling Joseph always taking big swings, always ready for the fastball when somebody's going to bring it, and didn't get it there.
Struck out his first time at the plate. One of 2 strikeouts in that first inning for Martinez. Martinez set. The 0-1 is popped up towards the screen, but you hear the thunk, and it gets out of play, 0-2.
Scared our producer Matt Hiscock's in here on the second bounce, not the first. Because after the original bounce, which was a little further, closer to the field, it came right over top of us.
He admits it.
Yep. It's usually me getting scared, so I'm just glad it wasn't me this time.
Crowd here at Labatt Memorial Park getting loud for the 0-2 pitch here to Joseph. It is taken high. Martinez went with the heater. And we'll see how many baseballs he switches out here.
The crowd's certainly been all over him for that. Looks like he's satisfied with just the one switch.
Pitchers, man, I'd be using those scrapes for my advantage. Get a little bit of extra movement. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Joseph down on strikes for the second time, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Another really good offering there from Yadier Martinez. Can't be doing too much if you're at the plate. Can't be looking to do too much if you're the Majors. Right now, it's been a pitching clinic put on by Martinez. So far in the ball game, he's got 7 strikeouts to just 1 walk. Chip away. Get base hits where you can. Be patient like Byron Reichstein was. Get on base and try to create some chaos that way.
That brings Tommy Reyes Cruz to the dish. Grounded out to first in the second. There goes Reichstein. The pitch is hit on the ground to first. A nice diving play by Wilson. Records the out at first, but with Reichstein on the move, he gets up to second. And in back-to-back innings, Majors have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, hit and run pays off there. The ground ball would have turned 2 had Wilson made that stop with Reichstein not running on the pitch. And that puts a runner in scoring position. So, yes, an out was recorded there, but the Majors still in a pretty decent spot to push a run across on the scoreboard with Reichstein now in scoring position, still in the heart of the order.
And I think that may have been part of the conversation that Ibarra and Martinez just had is, they understand they've got a base open. This is a guy that can mash baseballs in the batter's box here, so make sure you don't leave anything over the middle of the plate and understand that you do have a base open and you can go after McGee. However, we have seen McGee hit the long ball a couple of times this season. First pitch is not a competitive pitch at all, and it's swung on and missed.
Again, that goes back to not trying to do too much if you're the Majors. That swing, if you're patient at the plate, you don't chase that pitch, albeit there was fantastic movement on the offering from Yadier Martinez. DeOlio comes up empty on that pitch and now has to regroup behind in the count.
The 0-1 is going to be hit up the middle. That's going to get into center field, a base hit. They're going to send Reichstein around third. The ball dies in center field, allowing Reichstein to score. It's an RBI single for DeOlio, and the Majors get the run back. We're all tied up at 1.
Well, I mentioned DeOlio had to regroup and refocus, and he did just that, sending that ball on the ground, not hit very hard, right back up the middle. What surprised me on that play, Reese, Raul Gonzalez, the shortstop, did not chase after that baseball once it was dying in the grass. As you mentioned, it slowed right down to a halt in center field, and Gonzalez just ran right past it. So that allowed Reichstein to score because Leader had to run a long way, and this ball game's tied.
Yeah, it kind of takes us back to that situation that we saw in the second. Elliot Curtis with a ball that died in right field. As this ball is going to be hit on the ground, a diving stop over at third by Lacasse. Throw across the diamond. It is not in time. McGee beats it out. Infield hit for the Majors first baseman, and the inning continues. First and second, 2 men out.
Well, there have been a couple of really close plays at first base with the Majors batting. The first one didn't go the Majors' way. This one does. Kane McGee displaying phenomenal hustle, racing to get to first base, and it looked really, really close on that play, just as it was on the last one, and McGee beats this one out, continuing this inning, keeping things alive for the Majors.
Playoff baseball, you can't give up on anything. Can't give up at bats, can't be running slowly to first. Hard 90s definitely make a difference in the playoffs. Here comes Austin Wilkie. First pitch to him is going to be hit in the air. Right field, that ball's going to get down. They're going to send DeOlio. The throw from right field, it is in time. A strike from Jarvis from right. He guns down DeOlio at the plate, keeps the game tied. An exciting inning for sure that sees the Majors tie things up. We'll head to the fifth, a 1-1 tie here in Game 2 of this first round of the IBL playoffs here on Majors TV.
Here we go. Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Majors and Panthers here for Game 2 of their first round matchup in the 2023 IBL postseason. We take a look at the out-of-town scores. Not a full schedule like we saw yesterday, but still 2 other games in action around the Intercounty Baseball League.
Yeah, 2 other games right now as the crowd sings happy birthday to Cleveland Brownlee, who is not in the lineup tonight as mentioned, but is celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So happy early birthday to Cleveland Brownlee. But shifting back to the IBL playoffs, 2 other games, as you mentioned, Reese. Hamilton leading 2-0 on the Barrie Baycats. That's been a closer series than I thought it would be. Hamilton was struggling down the stretch this season, but they played a really close game yesterday in Barrie, and now they're leading 2-0 at home in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 5th now in that contest. And the Welland Jackfish, 1 seed, leading over the Brantford Red Sox 5-3, as you'd expect. Though Brantford, they can put up a fight in this series, I think.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's, one thing that works in their favor this season is they have pitching, and you could clearly tell they did not last year with a 2-win season, but they were able to get some arms in. They were able to pull in some import players to help out this season. They increased their win total by 6 this year, and a win that looked like it had a pretty good chance to happen Sunday. Majors had other decisions, of course, scoring 3 in the 9th and then winning it in extra innings.
Yeah, that was a wild one. You mentioned the arms the Brantford's got. Talk about the revelation that Matthew Fabian has been. Wow, impressive year for him.
And that's one thing they're missing yesterday in their suspended game as well with Welland. Is Fabian not in the lineup? Actually, he's missed, the last 2 weeks, I believe. I've been told he was on a trip to his school where he'll be attending in the fall, so missing some time with the Sox. As we get ready for the 5th inning here in London. All tied up at 1. De Los Santos into the windup. First pitch is taken for a strike. He will see the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up here for the Panthers.
Just to go back to your previous point there, Reese, about Fabian checking out school, this is the point of the season where a lot of IBL teams lose guys to their college and university commitments. You look at the majors, Jared Lund is back at Salem University. Alex Springer is out in Colorado right now, back at school. So a lot of the young guys headed back.
0-2. That's a really good spot for that pitch, but again, doesn't get the call. Counts 1-2.
Majors bench was ready to celebrate a strikeout there, but did not get the call.
One, two is dropped by Deolio. A little bit of a check swing there by Leader as well, but I think that was pretty evident he did not go around. So the count will be even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Leader did a good job holding up on that offering there. Had a good at-bat in his first trip, looking to duplicate that here.
Here's a 2-2. It is lined, but it's going to get fouled down the left field line.
Leader has one of the 5 Kitchener Panthers hits in this ball game. Was looking for the 6th right there. Hit that baseball hard, but right into foul territory.
Into the windup again. This ball popped up. Right side, Reichstein moving in, but it's going to end up being a can of corn for him, and Leader is out to start the 5th.
Yeah, that one hung up a little longer than I expected it to, Reese, because it didn't have a lot of distance on that swing. It was a pop fly into shallow right field that Byron Reichstein was just able to track down because it hung up for such a while. But there was a moment there where I was a little concerned that it was going to drop in, just because it seemed like it was a bit of a run for Reichstein. But the hang time on that one allowed him to make the grab.
First pitch to Gonzalez taken for a strike. Gonzalez 0 for 2. He's hit a couple of fly balls, one to right, one to left. The 0-1 is in the dirt. And I would say that one to left field may have been a little bit more of a line drive. It was a nice play by Starling Joseph, a running catch for him to end the 3rd. This ball is going to be lined into center field, but Lawrence moves over to make the catch, and those are 2 very quick outs for De Los Santos in an inning that you feel like he has to put up a 0 following the Majors tying the game in the bottom of the 4th.
Absolutely. That's 2 outs on 8 pitches for Pedro De Los Santos. Last inning in the 4th, he threw 33 pitches in that frame. He's now up to 87 on the ball game, and the quicker he can get through this, the better, as he gets a mound visit now from Major skipper Roop Chanderdat. Wilbur Martinez was throwing in the bullpen. Doesn't look like he's getting called upon here, but Pedro, as mentioned, the pitch count getting up there for him, up at 87 pitches now. Wonder where the end of the line will be, but it looks like he's going to be allowed to stay out here for now.
Yeah, 3rd trip through the lineup, you start to, hitters have seen you twice. They have a pretty good idea of what you're trying to do against them, and that's definitely going through Roop's head right now about, when is the right time. And De Los Santos has been good tonight, only 1 run against. He's given up 5 hits. However, an error did help that run come across for the Panthers. But I think De Los Santos knows that the thoughts in Roop's head about maybe when his night will be over, but just a decision hasn't been made yet.
Yeah, Martinez standing out in the Majors bullpen, but not yet throwing again, as De Los Santos works to the heart of this Panthers order with 2 out.
Wilson was the man that came around to score. First pitch to him is fouled straight back off the facing of the roof here at Lapat Memorial Park.
That ball got back here in a hurry, Reese. That gives you an idea into the power that Liam Wilson has. Rocked that baseball foul.
Always a home run threat, no matter what the situation is. Here's a 0-1. It is lined foul, or popped foul, right side. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's exactly what you want if you're Pedro De Los Santos. You get ahead 0-2 on Liam Wilson. You do it on just 2 pitches. You're trying to keep that pitch count low in this inning and get out of this as quickly as possible. Get your offense back on the bats after they scored you a run to tie the ball game up in the 4th inning. Trying to put a big bat and Wilson away here.
Into the windup, 0-2 is swung on and missed. Ball in the dirt. DeOlio will complete the strikeout. Throw right to the chest of McGee. A 1-2-3 frame for De Los Santos. Exactly what the doctor ordered here in the 5th.
Yeah, really, really good job by Pedro De Los Santos there. Yadier Martinez is at 60 pitches, and Pedro De Los Santos not quite at that same number, up near 90 now in the ball game, but a very strong bounce back for him in that 5th frame. 11 pitches in that inning, 8 of them strikes. Really good job by Pedro De Los Santos, and he's a guy at times who runs into issues controlling the strike zone. He walks his fair share of guys, but in this contest, he's been well over 50% strikes throughout the ball game. He's up at 67% right now, and a really good 5th frame, which begs the question, does he see action in the 6th? That's still to be determined, with Wilber Martinez getting loose here shortly.
Yeah, I think if he's pleading to Roop to give him a chance, I think he absolutely has a pretty good case following that 5th inning. It's just a matter of who is coming up and who he would face in the 6th. And I think that's one of the things that you, of course, take into consideration when making decisions about when to bring guys in, when to not. There is a catcher squatting currently in the bullpen, so you would expect someone to get up throwing fairly quickly. But you look at it, due up will be the 5th hitter, Elliot Curtis. You'll get Junior Ibarra, and then Stephen Whalen, who he struck out twice and seems to be very frustrated at the plate, but there are 2 hitters in front of him. And, you know, as much as you want De Los Santos to face Whalen, you got to decide, do you want him going up against Curtis and Ibarra, who are 2 guys that have gotten a couple of hits off of him. Curtis has been on base twice. Well, Ibarra has as well, but Curtis has singled and walked. Ibarra has singled and reached on an error. So as much as you want to see Whalen, if you're De Los Santos, you got to get through those first 2 guys first. Pitch taken for a strike here by Battelle. 8-9-1 due up for the Majors in the bottom of the 5th. A 0-1 is upstairs and a little bit in.
Yeah, the one thing with that 5, 6, and 7 spot in the Panthers order, 2 of those guys left-handers, but you mentioned it doesn't really matter when a guy like Curtis has had the success that he's had against De Los Santos in this ballgame.
1-1. Golf swing there from Battelle, fouls it off. Battelle 1 for 1, singled, but was stranded at second back in the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-2. It is low. And a bit inside. Martinez going back to that exact same spot that he got Battelle to roll over foul on the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed by Battelle. Martinez continues to rack up the strikeouts here. Battelle is out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, took something off of that pitch, and Dan Battelle just stood there and waved at that offering, came up empty on the swing for the first out. And Yadier Martinez continuing his success in this contest.
Here comes Brett Graham. Grounded to third his first time up. This ball is going to be lined into the left center field gap. That ball's going to get down. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. 1 out double for the number 9 hitter, Brett Graham. Gives the top of the lineup an opportunity to give the Majors the lead.
That's exactly what you want out of your number 9 hitter in Brett Graham. He is a guy who you look to give you a bit of a spark in that number 9 spot. He struggled at times during the regular season, but in the playoffs, completely different ball game. Took a pitch that Yadier Martinez left in the strike zone a little bit too much and drove it to left center field. So a really good job by Brett Graham there.
And 3 of the 6 hits tonight for the Majors have come from the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in Wilkie, Battelle, and Graham. Turn things over for Drew Lawrence. Lawrence 1 for 2, single and a strikeout. Caught stealing back in the first. Martinez set, check on the runner at second. The pitch is going to be fouled off right side.
Brought it with the fastball there. Drew Lawrence just able to fight it off and send it into foul territory. Drew blooped one into center field earlier in the ball game, and the Majors would certainly take that once again right here. I mean, a bloop into center, if Graham's able to read that off the bat right, it could score him.
Martinez looks him back. The 0-1 is going to be hit foul straight back, just to the right. No balls and 2 strikes. Martinez set at the belt. Again, checks the runner at second. The 0-2 is just high. A location that he's gone to a couple of times tonight and hasn't gotten the call.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty good pitch there from Martinez and just didn't get the strike call from the home plate umpire.
Now the 1-2 is going to be chopped right back to the mound. It's going to stop right in front. It's going to be thrown into the bullpen. That's going to allow Graham to score. Lawrence up to second, and the Majors have their first lead of the night. It's 2-1.
Reese, when I saw the way that baseball was hit, I knew immediately what was going to happen. That ball, throughout the season, has just stopped in that spot between home plate and the mound. It's happened time and time again. If you see a Majors pitcher approach that ball, they might have a bit of a better idea of what's going to happen just because they've seen it play out before. But for a visiting arm, that's so difficult because for Martinez, he's expecting that ball to continue rolling, and it just froze in place. And with the speed of Drew Lawrence, he knew he had to hurry, fired it into the bullpen, and that allows the Majors to take the lead.
So that goes as a single and an error, allowing Lawrence to get to second. First pitch to Reichstein is up and out. It's kind of been the story of all of Byron's at-bats so far, is if it's a ball, it's up and away. It's really nowhere else.
They don't want to give him anything that he could potentially get his hands on and drive, so up and away seems to be their go-to spot at the moment.
Here's the 1-0. It's in the dirt and blocked. I'd say Reichstein's been one of the most patient hitters tonight, if not the most patient hitter on both sides. You know, really wanting Martinez to come to him.
Worked the walk in his last plate appearance.
Here's the 2-0. Swung on and missed. Martinez took some off. One run across already for the Majors. Brett Graham doubled and came around to score. Lawrence singled and then reached second on the throwing error by Martinez. Couple checks on Lawrence. And they're going to throw behind him, but he gets back in.
Yadier Martinez has not been hesitant to make pickoff moves at first base, and now his first one over at second. We saw that Stephen Whalen was checking on him quite a bit. Checking on Brett Graham quite a bit when Lawrence is at the plate, and now with Reichstein at the plate, the lefty, Raul Gonzalez sneaks in behind him and nearly had Lawrence picked off, but he was back with the dive.
They're going to check on him again, but no fielder within a country mile of second base. Panthers are playing the shift here. Whalen is way over on the right side.
And Lawrence knows that. He's just bouncing around right now, trying to get in the head of Martinez. Worked on that last pickoff attempt.
Here's the 2-1. Taken for ball 3, and again, a good hitter's count that Reichstein has got himself into.
Yeah, Byron Reichstein well ahead in this count, 3-1. Martinez perhaps thinking of the runner over at second base a little bit, but right now his priority has to be Byron Reichstein. You cannot afford to leave one in the strike zone to him because he may drive it.
Ball four chance. Are back at Labatt Memorial Park. 3-1, swung on and missed. Reichstein swinging to put 2 on the board there, comes up empty.
Full count, 1 out. We got Drew Lawrence with speed over at second base. I don't think the Majors put him in motion, though, in this spot, not with a chance to steal third. If he was at first, I'd say it's a near certainty that they'd have him on the move.
Absolutely. Here's a 3-2. Swung on and missed. Reichstein down on strikes for the second time tonight. But for Martinez, it definitely doesn't get any easier with Starling Joseph now stepping to the plate.
Yeah, and that's the good news for the Majors. Byron Reichstein was unable to get that run home from second base, but you've still got one of the more powerful bats in your lineup coming up next in Starling Joseph, who will look to do some damage. 0 for 2 on the day, but that can change in a heartbeat, and we'll see if he can settle in and get another run across on the scoreboard, give a little bit of insurance to the Majors.
Yeah, early advantage definitely to Martinez as Joseph has gone down on strikes, both swinging, but a couple of at-bats that haven't been productive for Joseph, but you could easily see 2 runs put on the board, just the impact that he has in the middle of this lineup and the difference that he's able to make in a game. Here's the first pitch from Martinez. It is inside, and it gets Joseph. That's been a common theme most of the year. Joseph, again, a guy that likes the ball out over the heart of the plate, that's able to drive a baseball. As you see Martinez, not intentional, of course. The runner in scoring position, you don't want to extend the inning through the middle of the lineup, but Joseph has seen a lot of inside pitches throughout the season, and yeah, he's gotten clipped a few times, and still got a smile on his face, and he'll take the free bag.
He always has a smile on his face, Reese. He's just a happy guy. He's glad that he gets to play baseball. And right there, he knows that there's no intent behind that pitch. 2 outs, a runner in scoring position, and Martinez goes to apologize. So Joseph now aboard along with Drew Lawrence.
Sorry, just had a mini celebration in the Game Day London broadcast booth here. Parker Meadows just hit a 3-run walk-off winner for the Tigers over the Astros.
Wow, I didn't realize they were Tigers fans.
For that. Yeah, it hasn't been a fun number of years.
It's been a struggle. But a regime change out there, maybe that'll turn things around.
Here's Tommy Reyes Cruz. First pitch to him is fouled off.
I was actually at a Tigers game earlier this week with a couple of guys I play baseball with, and Parker Meadows, exciting guy. I mean, I didn't know anything about him coming into that game. I was there on Tuesday night, and he really impressed me.
Yeah, Cubs making a rare visit to the Motor City.
I love the balanced schedule. I love seeing all the teams.
0-1 way in. Yeah, because you get those matchups that are very uncommon. Talking with Matt last week, Blue Jays in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
When was the last time you could say that?
2014 was the last time. I saw a lot of the box scores. R.A. Dickey was on the mound in the last game prior to that series the Jays played in Cincinnati. R.A. Dickey, the starting pitcher for Toronto.
Martinez set at the belt. The 1-1 is going to be hit in the air. Left field. Originally coming in was Ruiz, but ends up backing up to make the catch. Majors strand a couple. However, 1 run does come across. They lead it 2-1 through 5. Dylan Baker back on the call for you to start the 6th here on Majors TV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back now for the 6th inning between the Majors and the Panthers. And Reece, Pedro de los Santos back out there to the mound. 90 pitches under his belt through 5 innings.
Yeah, with Roop giving him the opportunity here, you may expect this to be the final inning for him tonight, especially with the, I don't know if lack of depth at the starting pitcher role is the best term, but it has definitely been a challenge on some nights for the Majors, and with a tight schedule in the playoffs, of course, to get all the games in a decent amount of time. May want to save some of those pitches for a potential Game 5, potential Game 1 of a Round 2 series.
Boy.
We're at that part. We're at that part of the season that pitch counts mean a whole heck of a lot more.
Especially with how condensed things are in these series, right? The Welland Jackfish and Brantford Red Sox were supposed to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then potentially Sunday if they needed a Game 4, which is wild. The Majors and Panthers, of course, Thursday, Friday, Sunday in their series, and it's a very busy time for all IBL teams right now. So it sounds like there's going to be the completion of the first game on Sunday at 1 o'clock, first pitch, I'm being told by our producer, Matt Hiscox. And then Game 3 of the series will finish up after that game. 30 minutes after that game, as that one is chopped on the ground by Elliot Curtis. It's a fair ball. DeOlio overran it, and now it's foul.
That was interesting.
It sure was. Curtis didn't think that ball was going to be in play, so he didn't start running. Would have been an easy out for DeOlio, but then the ball hit the lip and bounced back. Did it hit the lip, or did it just have some spin on it?
I think both. Combination of both. And I mean, calling Sox games for the last 2 seasons, you get used to some lips, especially at Arnold Anderson Stadium, but you never get anything like that. That's a new one for me.
DeOlio was getting ready to, was waiting for it to settle so he could pick it up and then fire a strike to first, and it just never settled and shot right back behind him.
And he did the right thing, going at it with the bare hand. If you go at it with the glove, you have a few things that could go wrong there. So he did the right thing going with the bare hand. Just an odd play all around, really.
So after all of that, the count's 0-1, now 1-1 to Elliot Curtis as that one misses.
I think Curtis thought it hit him in the box. That's why he originally didn't run on that ball.
That one there, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes the count here on Elliot Curtis. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside, 2-2.
Yeah, another tough pitch.
Two on its way. That one way up and in on Elliot Curtis. Goes over his head and to the backstop, so the count runs full.
That's one way to make a guy uncomfortable.
It sure is. Curtis did a good job getting out of the way of that ball. So full count here on Elliot Curtis, the number 5 hitter and designated hitter for the Kitchener Panthers. He's 1 for 1. De Los Santos wanted a new baseball and got it. There. Shallow left. Battelle going out now into foul territory. Makes the grab towards the Majors bullpen. And there's one out now in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, and that play looks simple by Battelle, but it really isn't because there's a small drop-off. It's not very large, but a small drop-off from the infield to the outfield, a little bit of a dip. He'll reach up to make that catch. It's a lot harder than he made it look. But for De Los Santos, if you get the first guy out in the inning here and potentially your last inning, then that's big for him.
Junior Ibarra sends that baseball high into the air, but not particularly deep, and Drew Lawrence is camped under it. He makes the catch, and there's 2 out now in the top of the 6th inning.
I think the one positive thing here for De Los Santos is he's still getting soft contact from these Panthers hitters. That pop up there to Battelle, not hit hard. That fly ball to Lawrence hit high, but not hit hard. De Los Santos is still keeping hitters off balance here in the sixth inning, and you take it back to the start against Welland. 6 strong there, gets the job done here. He's doing the exact same thing, but with less damage against.
Here's the first pitch to Stephen Whalen. 0-1 the count, and you mentioned Stephen Whalen earlier in the ballgame. A little bit frustrated. 2 strikeouts, both swinging so far today.
Yeah, also a broken bat on his line today as well. Smashed it off the ground.
0-1. That one doesn't find the strike zone, though it did come close, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Whalen.
I'm sure of everybody in the ballpark, Whalen was a guy that was hoping for a different look. The success he's had against De Los Santos.
Swing and a miss there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Kitchener Panthers second baseman. De Los Santos trying to put him away for the 3rd time and give him the hat trick in his 3rd at-bat. Into the windup goes the Majors lefty. He delivers. Whalen got a piece of that one. Fights it off and stays alive. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Stephen Whalen at the plate. Pedro De Los Santos on the mound in the top of the 6th inning. Into the windup. Here comes the 1-2 in the air. Left field. Joseph moves under it. He's got it. And Pedro De Los Santos is through 6 complete innings, Reece, only allowing 1 run to a good Kitchener Panthers offense.
Yeah, if that's the last inning we see from De Los Santos, what a performance by him in a game where you're the 7 seed going up against the 2 seed. You're unable to complete game 1 to really get an idea of what the Panthers are going to bring here in this series. Of course, you get them 6 times in the regular season, but for De Los Santos, for him to get back on the horse, for him to have 2 quality starts in a row, 1 in the regular season, 1 here in the playoffs, is huge for him, his confidence, and the team's confidence in him.
It's been a pitcher's duel so far. The Majors with 2 runs. They've got the lead at the moment. The Kitchener Panthers with 1 run off of Pedro De Los Santos. Let's talk about Yadier Martinez and how good he's been as we're up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth to take you through this one. Entering the bottom of the 6th inning, Martinez has thrown 5 quality frames.
He has. And his strength tonight has been the K. We've seen him set down a lot of hitters at the plate, whereas De Los Santos has gotten a little bit more contact from Kitchener hitters, but Martinez has been just as good as De Los Santos. It's just the Majors have done a better job, minus the 1st and 2nd inning, of putting balls in play and giving themselves a chance. We've seen a couple of infield hits. We've seen an error by the Panthers. So for Martinez, he's had hitters off balance. It's just some of the mistakes he's left over the plate have really hurt him.
Yeah, the Majors have been able to drive a couple of balls to the gaps and then just some bloops and some walks, some good patience on display later on in the ballgame, as you mentioned, by this Majors offense, and that is why they lead by a score of 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Majors. Eduardo De Olio, Kane McGee, and Austin Wilkie due up for London. Majors have scored 1 in each of the past 2 frames. DeOlio smokes that one into left field. It's a leadoff base hit for the Majors catcher. And they've got a base runner to begin the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, and that was a rocket off the bat of the Majors catcher there. And he was ready for that all day from Martinez. We've seen a couple of times where Martinez has started soft and then gone hard. There looked like he went hard originally, and DeOlio was ready for it.
So interesting right there. Charlie Bowman ran out onto the field thinking he was going to pinch run for Eduardo DeOlio before being precipitously called back to the dugout by Majors manager Roop Chanderdat. Umpire Mike Kinnear writing something down on his lineup card, and if the Majors were trying to cancel the substitution of DeOlio there, they better hope they're not too late, as we're still waiting for resolution. Kane McGee due up. Looked like he took the helmet off there. Bowman now, I believe, coming to the plate. He thought he was pinch running. He was actually coming in to pinch hit for Kane McGee. So Charlie Bowman will step up to the plate.
I mean, you would think that'd be normal, him going to pinch run, especially with him being behind the plate yesterday.
Yeah.
With Deolio, you would definitely upgrade in speed here in this situation. Deolio already being thrown out at home plate once in this game. So you definitely thought it was a possibility. Just, if you're Bowman, I'm more excited to hit in this situation.
He's got Deolio at first, squaring around a bunt, takes high. May have been the goal there, just try to get the bunt down, and maybe Bowman a more likely candidate to execute a successful bunt than Kane McGee. But McGee's night is done. Bowman, as you mentioned, caught game one, has played some first base, and has been a pinch runner quite a bit. That one a strike. They'll throw to first, and Deolio didn't get down, but he is just in there safely after the snap throw.
And that's good recognition by Ibarra there. Deolio getting way off. And yeah, just when you don't slide, it A, better chance that you're out. B, may give an umpire a reason to call you out because you didn't slide in.
Pitch to Bowman on the ground towards first base. Wilson touches the bag. Throw to second is in the dirt, and I think it hit Deolio there, so he'll reach second base safely. And I guess that kind of works like a sacrifice bunt. Bowman retired. Deolio moves into scoring position.
Yeah, that works out just as well. Yeah, Bowman, unfortunately for him, hitting it right to first base, literally, to the bag. That's an easy play for Wilson there. It just, Wilson not going inside onto the grass, giving him a lane to throw to second. And whether that's a result of where Gonzalez was positioned at second, if he was pointed directly in the line where Deolio was running, or if he was a little bit in towards the grass. Just a play that you have to give yourself a throwing lane, and Wilson was unable to do that.
So Eduardo Deolio now in scoring position, seems to be all right after taking that ball off his body there, and Austin Wilkie will step into the batter's box. Wilkie, a runner in scoring position. Dan Battelle waits on deck. Redding on the mound is Martinez. He'll deliver. Off the plate outside, ball one. No action in the Kitchener bullpen. So it is Martinez inning as of right now. Pitch on its way to Wilkie off the plate outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Wilkie doing a nice job being patient here. Again, you could consider this a stressful inning for Martinez. Runner on second, less than 2 outs. Big hole on the right side for Wilkie.
Here's the 2-0 home. Wilkie takes low. 3 balls and no strikes. Well ahead in this count. Ball 4 chance raining down here at Labatt Park.
Yeah, very nice crowd on hand to get the home part of the playoff schedule underway. As you would expect, of course, Majors going for that three-peat.
3 balls, 1 strike. Deolio at second. Pitch to Wilkie. Swing and a miss. Count runs full now at 3-2.
That's a really nice pitch, 3-1. You expect as a hitter to get a fastball. Again, you have a little bit of wiggle room there in a spot to make sure that it's yours, but for Martinez, that's a perfect spot for that pitch and a perfect call from Ibarra.
3-2 count. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Wilkie in the air, that's foul. Fights that one off and stays alive on 3-2.
It looks like they tried to do the same thing there, 3-2, as they did 3-1, just that pitch caught near the plate.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Again, we apologize for any internet issues you may be experiencing, some choppiness on the stream. It is a provider issue by the sounds of it. 3-2 count, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Wilkie. Breaking ball. Called strike 3. Martinez flipped him a breaking ball that found the strike zone. And there's 2 out in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, from up here, that pitch looked a little bit too close to take. It looked like it may have came around the plate inside, but still, you have to expand with 2 strikes. I'd say robo-umps aren't even a thought right now in the Intercounty Baseball League. So, it's still that mentality of you have to expand the zone a little bit when you've got 2 strikes against you. Choke up on the bat, shorten everything up, and do everything possible to try and put a ball on the ground.
So time called here before we get things going against Battelle. Yeah, robo-umps aren't a thought in Major League Baseball right now, let alone even a consideration in the IBL. Battelle chops that one on the ground down the first base line. It will roll foul at its own 1.
That was strikeout number 10 for Martinez. He has had at least 1 in every inning so far tonight.
So 0-1 count here on Dan Battelle. Eduardo De Olio stands at second base. Now we understand that the audio is still coming through fine on the broadcast here, so we'll try to be a little more descriptive as we work through our internet issues. Battelle skies that one, center field. Leader is camped under it. He's got it. And Yayan Martinez gets out of the Eduardo De Olio single. He got to second base, and he is stranded right there. We're through 6 complete here at Labatt Park. The Majors maintain their 1-run lead. It's 2-1 London.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic. Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park for the top of the 7th inning as we give you a look at the night sky here at Labatt Park. And now a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as the Hamilton Cardinals lead 3-1 over the Barrie Baycats in the bottom of the 7th inning at Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium. The Welland Jackfish up 5-3 on Brantford in the top of the 5th at Arnold Anderson.
Yeah, that Barrie-Hamilton series is one of the more intriguing ones here this season. Again, like you mentioned, Hamilton kind of wasn't Hamilton that we saw in the first half of the season down the stretch. They really struggled into the playoffs. However, looking to even the series here, they had a close game in Game 1, and for them, I think some people say, thank God there's a team in Barrie because weather does not get there that comes here sometimes. So that was a complete game, and that is officially Game 2 between the Cardinals and Baycats. So Cardinals looking to even up that series at 1 game apiece, and the Jackfish essentially doing what everybody expects them to do, the 1 seed against the number 8 seeded Red Sox. Again, a game that got suspended, but they're looking to go ahead here in Brantford.
So we've got some defensive changes to run you through. Let's get them for you right now. There you see on your screen 2 of the changes as Dan Battelle, the third baseman, now takes over at first base. So Battelle shifts from third to first. Shifting from second to third is Brett Graham. So Brett Graham, the second baseman, goes to third base. And taking over in the spot of Charlie Bowman is Jordan Schulafand, who will play second base for the Majors. So Schulafand in for Bowman, playing second base. Graham from second to third. Battelle from third to first. Got it all? Sure hope so. We'll remind you again if The ball is hit to one of our new substitutions, but Jordan Chulafan takes over at second base as the Majors' new look infield makes its debut. Tommy Reyes-Cruz still over there at shortstop as Marcel Lacasse fouls off the first pitch.
Yeah, essentially Roop making a wholesale change around the infield, -1.
We saw him wander over to the home plate umpire between innings and trying to run him through all the changes.
You kind of expect that as well. You get into the latter half of the game, the last 3 innings here. Expect the changes to be made.
Here's the 0-1. Lacasse fouls that one off. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. And Pedro de los Santos returning to the hill for the 7th inning. Came into the inning over 100 pitches. He was at 102, I believe. Yes, 102 coming into this frame. But getting the nod, and no real action in the Majors bullpen right now. We did see some throwing before, so it's possible the arm, I believe it was Wilber Martinez. He may be ready right now. 0-2, called strike 3. De Los Santos freezes Marcel Lacasse in the outside corner, and there's one gone in the top of the 7th inning.
Yeah, really good spot, really good pitch for De Los Santos. Lacasse, a little bit frozen there, expecting that pitch to stay away, but it catches some of the black on the outer part of the plate. Again, a nice start for De Los Santos here to start the 7th, and for him, we're looking at a stretch of 8 straight batters retired, or 9 straight, I should say, dating back to the 4th inning.
Looking to continue that streak here against Humberto Ruiz, who takes a first pitch strike. De Los Santos works into the windup. Here's the 0-1 to Ruiz. In the air. Center field. Lawrence hardly has to move out there. Camped under it. 2 quick outs for Pedro de los Santos in the top of the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's a definition of a can of corn for Drew Lawrence out there in center. Again, another ball that got a lot of airtime here at Labatt Memorial Park. Thought it had a chance to be a little bit more shallow, but as you saw there, Lawrence not really moving at all. Ball hit right to him for out number 2.
So Jet Jarvis will step up to the plate, top of the order for the Kitchener Panthers. Jarvis was frozen and unhappy in his last at-bat when he was called out on strikes. He takes the first pitch strike there, 0-1. De Los Santos into the windup once again, 0-1. Squaring around a bunt is Jarvis, and that one is foul. Tried to catch the defense by surprise with 2 outs, and now Jarvis behind the count 0-2.
That's one thing De Los Santos has done well. You talk about the frustration we've seen from Jarvis. We've seen it from Whalen. There's a few guys in this lineup for Kitchener that De Los Santos has frustrated all night long.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Offering on its way from Pedro de los Santos. Misses, and it is 1-2. Looked to be a little high to me there, Reese.
Yeah, it did, and Deolio standing up to catch that definitely didn't help his pitcher out at all, if it did have a chance to be called a strike. Whether it blinded the home plate umpire from seeing the pitch, or, if the catcher gives up on it, why should the umpire give them the call?
So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here's the offering on its way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Deolio chasing down Jet Jarvis. He will complete the out at first base with the throw, and a very quick inning for Pedro de los Santos.
Yeah, that's 3 straight 1-2-3 innings for De Los Santos. 11 straight hitters total that he has retired. The last guy that's reached against De Los Santos happened to be a 1-out single from Marcel Lacasse in the 4th, and of course that's when the Panthers loaded the bases but only came up with 1 run. So De Los Santos has gotten himself into a groove throughout the middle of the game here to the back half, and it's been a nice performance by the left-hander.
Well, it is stretch time at Labatt Park as we get set for the bottom of the 7th inning, and Majors leading by 1 run. Close game, game 2 of the playoffs. You need some insurance if you're the Majors, and if you need insurance at home, here's our insurance guy, Eric Gagne, with our insurance tip of the game.
Today, we thought we would share some tips on how you could save on your home or renter's insurance. So we talked to people a lot about how they could reduce their premium. So one of the ways is bundling your home and auto insurance together. So if you have auto insurance with one company, make sure your agent or broker has you insured with your home insurance with the same company as your auto insurance so you can capture bundling discounts. Being claims free at least 3 years as well too adds a discount to your policy, and that usually goes along with loyalty discounts. So the longer you're with a company, they do add discounts that the longer you're with that company. Also as well too, mortgage free discounts. If you do not have a mortgage on your property, you could qualify for a discount. Alarm discounts are becoming more popular now too, with burglary and fire alarm systems set up in homes. So make sure your home insurance agent knows about that. And finally, increasing your deductible overall on your property will be offset with a higher discount. So talk to your home insurance agent about increasing your deductible and the discounts that come along with that. Thought we would share those tips today. I'm Eric Gagne with our insurance guy. Now back to you guys in the booth.
Eric, thank you. 1-0 the count here on Brett Graham. Pokes this one to the right side. Stephen Whalen, the second baseman, gobbles it up and throws to Liam Wilson at first for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
And that'll turn things over. Lawrence and Reichstein, the next two hitters due up for London. And as much as we talk about De Los Santos preserving this lead for the Majors, talk about Martinez keeping his team in it and keeping them within striking distance, because that's his job right now, is to keep it a one-run game and keep his team within reach of the Majors.
So Drew Lawrence, 2 for 3 on the day, steps into the batter's box. First pitch right behind him. 1-0. Looked to be a breaking ball that just slipped out of the hand of Martinez.
You know, whether it's a fastball, breaking ball, changeup, pitches behind you, or just they're not fun. That's the best way to put it. Nice way, again, to keep you off balance.
Absolutely. 1-0, Lawrence in the air, right center field, slicing away from the outfielders, but tracking it down is Jet Jarvis, the right fielder, and there's 2 gone now in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Talk about De Los Santos getting quick outs. That's exactly what Martinez is doing here in the 7th. You know, for the Panthers, they've got the right part of the lineup coming up, and Martinez knows exactly what they can do, so he wants to get his team into the dugout and try and tie the game and then take the lead.
So Byron Reichstein into the batter's box against Yadier Martinez. Ball one there.
Looked like it probably should have been a strike. It looked pretty good. I don't blame you.
No action in the Panthers bullpen right now, just a little bit of standing around. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Yeah, this is Martinez's game.
He's been very, very good so far, just the 2 runs. The reason I checked the bullpen is he's at 98 pitches, but as we've seen with Pedro De Los Santos, pitch count is just a number. That one misses.
And with the Panthers, we've seen them let their starters go quite a bit. Christian Houck has been a guy we've seen throw 110 plus, 120 plus pitches in starts before.
I think he touched 140 at some point this season. That one in the dirt, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like, that's a week's worth of rest, 140. That's a lot of pitches.
If I reach 15 pitches, my arm is tired. I cannot imagine 140. Hitters count here on Reichstein. 3 balls and 1 strike, which means the ball 4 chants are out, which also means Yadier Martinez wants a new baseball. So we'll try it again. Crowd not letting up on Martinez. 3 balls and 1 strike the count with 2 out. Pitch on its way. Reichstein slaps that one to the opposite field. It'll get down in left. It's a 2-out single for Byron Reichstein. And the Majors have a base runner with 2 away.
Yeah, Reichstein, again, gets himself into a good hitter's count, and that's the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen that here for him, that being his 4th time to the plate, but his 3rd at bat with a walk thrown in there as well. But you know, he's done well enough to put himself in good counts, to get good pitches to hit. That time he gets his first hit of the night, and it's a sharp single to left. And he was on that baseball right from the get-go, right when it left Martinez's hand.
So we now see action in the Kitchener Panthers bullpen here. That appears to be Jose Vasquez getting loose for Kitchener. As Yadier Martinez now up over 100 pitches. He's at 101. And Vasquez getting loose in case he's needed this frame. Starling Joseph will be the next man to hit after Reichstein was able to extend the inning. Martinez has had a long night out there on the mound, thrown a lot of pitches. You may have seen it on your screen there when the mound visit occurred. He wiped off a fair amount of sweat with his sweat rag on the mound. And Joseph steps into the batter's box. Joseph, one of the most dangerous hitters in this majors order. 0 for 2 today, though. 2 strikeouts and a hit by pitch, if I'm not mistaken, for Starling. Martinez sets. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's been that same pitch from Yadier Martinez throughout the ball game that has gotten the chase from Joseph.
Yeah, minus that first pitch last at bat that clipped Joseph. Yeah, it's just been, he's been feeding them, whether it be fastballs, curveballs, or a changeup. It's just been all away. Make Joseph hit the ball to the right side. Make him make the adjustment. Martinez has done that to a T so far tonight.
0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Didn't chase that one. Laid off, and it's 1-1.
And it's really been that breaking ball that Joseph has chased. Not necessarily the straight stuff. It's been everything that dives out to that left-handed batter's box that Joseph has really gone after here tonight.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out. Byron Reichstein stands over at first base. Setting on the rubber Martinez. That one misses. 2-1.
And Joseph just fighting here to put himself in a good count to get a good pitch. We've seen, I don't want to say at-bats that weren't good, but not quality at-bats for Joseph. Having him swing early on pitches that may have been a little bit out, and you put yourself in an 0-2 hole, allowing Martinez to go even further, and then you chase those pitches. So to get 2-1, that's an improvement from what we've seen earlier on.
2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Joseph in the air. Left field sinking quickly. That's going to be trouble. It gets down. Getting the stop sign is Reichstein from third base coach Steve Cochran. So it's a bloop single for Starling Joseph that puts a runner in scoring position for the Majors and keeps the frame alive for Tommy Reyes Cruz.
Yeah, as much as we talk about how hard Joseph hits the ball, it just seems to work out that his first hit of the night's a bloop single, and that's actually going to chase Martinez from the game here tonight. So, good on the Majors. 2 quick outs. They worked back-to-back singles to knock the starter out of the game.
Well, it was clear that the message from Bill Manicic was that was the last batter for his arm, Yadier Martinez. New arm taking over. We'll get you all the numbers and the results when we come back.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Get started at Planet Fitness today through the free PF app, online, or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
watching. You're watching London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back now as a new arm takes over for the Kitchener Panthers. It is Jose Vasquez from Northwestern State University on the mound.
Yeah, and he'll be making appearance, well, first of the postseason, you could say, but in the regular season, he appeared in 10 games, a 5.18 ERA, win-loss record of 1-3.
First pitch to Tommy Reyes Cruz is in there for a strike, 0-1. Vasquez, a guy who pitched in the IBL all the way back in 2016 with the Brantford Red Sox. Appeared in 7 games combined between the regular season and postseason. He was actually a 2020 signing of the London Majors. Did not get to play for the team, of course, due to the COVID pandemic. Now a snap throw to second base to check on Reichstein, and he is back standing up.
Yeah, I think that might be stretching it a little bit there from Ibarra. You've got 2 outs. Not to say that that ball had a really good chance to get to center field. However, you give yourself that opportunity where if it throws even a little bit off, a chance for the runners to move up if it does get into the outfield.
Vasquez, a supreme command guy, 55 strikeouts, 9 walks this season. That one fouled straight back.
Yeah, last appearing on the 21st of August against Hamilton, where he threw an inning and a third of scoreless ball, 3 Ks in that outing.
1-2 the count to Tommy Reyes Cruz. Vasquez trying to strand the 2 runners on base. Reyes Cruz gets a piece, fouls that one straight back, and we'll try once more on 1-2.
Of course, both these runners are Martinez's responsibility, so if they do come across, they will be charged to the Panthers starter.
We'll see if Vasquez is able to keep the line score where it's at for Yadier Martinez. Pitch on its way. Cue shot to shortstop. Raul Gonzalez thought about going to second. It elects to go to first, and the throw just does beat Tommy Reyes Cruz to the bag to retire the side. So we are through 7 complete here at Labatt Park. Heading to the 8th. Majors lead by a run. It's 2-1.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back now for the 8th inning of play between the Majors and the Kitchener Panthers. As we give you a look now at the new arm on the mound, Wilber Martinez taking over for the Majors.
Yeah, Martinez, a late addition to the Majors. 6 games in the regular season, ERA of 6.82, win-loss record of 2-2. You can throw a save in there as well. 29 innings pitched, struck out 26 and walked 19.
Native of Bocas del Toro, Panama, and a masterful job by Pedro de los Santos in his start, going 7 innings, allowing 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 1 hit batter in there as well. Really a masterful job by Pedro in this game.
Yeah, it was, and he kept a lot of the hitters off balance and frustrated throughout the entire night. He had more stressful innings than he probably wanted to, but ended up getting the job done. He was able to minimize the damage in that 4th inning when that 1 run did come across for Kitchener. So no panic at all from the veteran left-hander.
We'll take a minute to remind you as Wilber Martinez gets loose to follow us on social media. It is at London Majors on TikTok, at London Majors on X, at London Majors on Instagram and Facebook, and of course right here where you're watching us on YouTube tonight. And we are very, very glad to have you with us this evening for Game 2 officially of the IBL Quarterfinals between the Kitchener Panthers and the London Majors. Majors leading by a score of 2-1 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. And Andy Leader will step into the batter's box for Kitchener to face Wilbur Martinez.
And Andy Leader, the only batter in the top 3 for Kitchener with a hit tonight. Jarvis 0 for 4. Gonzalez 0 for 3, although he's waiting on deck. Leader, the only one with that hit. He's 1 for 3.
So Leader will look to add to his hit total and get something going against the new Majors arm. Swing and a miss. Looked like Martinez started Leader with an off-speed pitch there, and count empty. Oh, 1 on its way. That one off the plate outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Martinez trying to get ahead of Leader here on this offering. That ball is smoked into left center field, and it will get down for a base hit. So Andy Leader is aboard with a leadoff single in the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, and that's a mistake pitch there by Martinez, a pitch that was left up and got a lot of the plate. And more times than not, Leader ain't going to miss that. So, that's a spot you can't live at, especially going through this part of the order for Kitchener and with only a 1-run lead.
Well, not an easy assignment for Wilbur Martinez by any means. Coming in to face 2, 3, and 4 in the Kitchener Panthers order. Leader singled. Raul Gonzalez steps in now, and Liam Wilson on deck. Gonzalez and Wilson, 2 of the top candidates for MVP this season. So will be difficult for the Majors' young right-hander. Former Pittsburgh Pirates farmhand, just 22 years old. That one misses high for ball 1.
And it would not surprise me at all to see Leader on the move at some point in this at-bat to try and get himself in scoring position.
Kitchener trying to even this ball game up. Misses off the plate, 2-0.
And you can see the movement there from Deolio. Try and get that ball back towards the plate.
Didn't get the call from the home plate umpire. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Martinez looks in for the sign, and now he comes set out there on the rubber. Leader, a very good lead. Not running. Off the plate outside, and it is a hitter's count here for Raul Gonzalez, 3-0. And
we'll see if he has any interest in this time around. He had a 3-0 count earlier on against De Los Santos, and the bat did not leave his shoulder. Late in the game, might expect him to hunt a fastball.
Here's the 3-0, way off the plate. That is ball 4, and that will put 2 runners on here for the Kitchener Panthers, including the tying run in scoring position in the form of Andy Leader.
Yeah, it's one thing to allow contact and allow the other team to work to get themselves on, whether it be a hit, error. You got to make them put the ball in play. With the situation here, 4 straight balls, that's not where you want to see yourself, especially late in the game. You want to, again, make them put the ball in play. De Los Santos did a nice job of that throughout his outing, not really going for the strikeout, although certain situations called for it. But here, the game plan's got to stay the same. Make the Panthers put the ball in play. Luckily enough, you have a force at every base, minus home plate, of course, so that works to your favor.
Well, the Major is going to be looking for one of those forced plays to record 1, maybe 2 outs as Liam Wilson steps into the batter's box. A few Majors converge on the mound to try to calm down Martinez. In this big spot, Wilson squares to bunt, and he didn't pull back. It's 0-1. Not the guy you expect to square around a bunt.
Not even a little bit. Yeah, we've seen him have a 2-homer game here at Labatt Memorial Park this season. That was the first time these two teams met in a 9-2 final for Kitchener. So, number 4 hitter bunting. Majors are prepared for it.
Graham in at third. Battelle in at first. Wilson doesn't square. This one gets away from DeOlio, but not far enough for Andy Leader or Raul Gonzalez to move up. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
I don't know if that was a cross-up or just maybe DeOlio didn't see it out of the hand of his pitcher.
Some stretching now in the Majors bullpen. It certainly did look like it was a bit of a cross-up on that last offering. As Wilber Martinez looks in for the sign. And comes set on the mound. Schulafand and Reyes Cruz applying pressure on Leader at second. That one, a call that goes the way of Wilber Martinez on the mound, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Liam Wilson.
Need a quality pitch here from Martinez. Nothing over the heart of the plate. If you're going to go in, make sure it misses in. Again, Wilson, another guy, can't let him get those arms extended.
So 1-2 count. Martinez trying to record a big first out against the cleanup hitter for the Kitchener Panthers. He sets and peeks back at second base. Delivers his offering. Wilson on the ground in the hole. That one gets through. Getting the wave around third is Andy Leader. Joseph will not make a throw, and this ball game is tied. An RBI single for Liam Wilson as even things up for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, a ball that was kind of in between there for Reyes Cruz and Graham. Reyes Cruz having to go a long way to try and get that baseball. Graham off the bat, going to third base, making sure he's there if Reyes Cruz is able to come up with it for the force, but it gets to the outfield and it just dies. Would have been a close play if Joseph had come up with that, although I'd give the chance, or I'd give the advantage to Leader there. He probably would have scored anyways. But here it's kind of the same situation De Los Santos got himself into in the fourth, where 1 run comes across, first and second, nobody out. He was able to work out of it, and now that's Martinez's job right now.
It's not going to be an easy job at that to get out of this inning after the run comes in to score, and right there, nothing you can do if you're the Majors. Middle infield's in double play depth at all times when there's a runner over at first base, unless the infield comes all the way in. So nothing the Majors could do. Found the right spot. Neither Graham nor Reyes Cruz could get there, despite the fact that it wasn't hit particularly hard, and now Kitchener has even things up.
Majors, of course, I'd look for the bunt again. Now the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Raul Gonzalez out there at second.
So Martinez sets out there on the rubber. Elliot Curtis into the batter's box. He is squaring, gets this one down towards the mound. Perfect sacrifice. Schulafand coming into cover. Not in time. They're saying he's off the base. Oh boy. A bunt there. Martinez fielded it. Schulafand had to get around the first base umpire to get to the bag. And then the call was made that Jordan Schulafand didn't touch the base in time, which will load the bases.
Yeah, you said it perfectly there. He had to go around the umpire at first, and of course the umpire has to get in position to make a call, but that extra split second there allowing Curtis to reach.
So bases loaded, nobody out. Elliot Curtis reaches on the bunt, and now a huge spot for Junior Ibarra. First pitch off the plate outside.
There's nowhere to put him. Can't afford a walk in this situation. You can't let that go-ahead run cross on a free pass.
Martinez trying to settle in here and record an out. Every infielder on the cut of the grass right now. 1-0 home. Ibarra skies it. Left field. Joseph getting under it as Gonzalez gets set to tag. Joseph makes the catch. He's got a pretty decent arm, but the throw is up the line. Tagging and going to third is the runner Wilson, and the throw gets away from Tommy Reyes Cruz. So it's a sacrifice fly for Junior Ibarra, and Liam Wilson picks up an extra 90 feet. Hey-o, up here in the broadcast booth as the Panthers take a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, that's Ibarra recognizing the situation. Again, not trying to do too much. The swing, of course it looked like he was trying to put 4 on the board at once, but just to get the ball in the air, that was the job at hand, and Ibarra was able to do that to bring across the go-ahead run.
So 1 out. Runners on the corners here. Wilbur Martinez readies with Stephen Whalen at the plate. That's off the plate outside, 1-0.
And now try to minimize the damage here. Get yourself a ground ball.
Ground ball should get you out of the inning, assuming there is a good turn at second base. In the dirt. Now moving from first is Ibarra, and he will nullify the potential for a double play. Great read, by Elliot Curtis over at first base. Great read by him, seeing the pitch in the dirt and advancing to second base.
Yeah, and that's a decision that has to be made when the pitch is going in, not when it originally hits the dirt. You have to be able to recognize that at about the 45 to 50 foot mark between home plate and the pitcher's mound.
So Curtis credited with a stolen base. That one is in there for a strike, and Whalen is in disbelief.
Yeah,
so the
did
count is
look
2-1.
out. Did look out from up here.
It did. But Martinez gets the benefit of the doubt. He's got 2 runners in scoring position. Both the infield and the outfield are in. Every single Majors outfielder has a strong arm. That's there for strike 2. 2-2.
If you're Martinez, zone in here against Whalen. Don't focus on the guys on the base paths right now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. And time is called here. Not sure by whom, but time called nonetheless. Stephen Whalen stands in the left-handed batter's box, ready to face Wilbur Martinez here. The righty readies and delivers the 2-2. That one off the plate outside. Deolio dropped it, but it doesn't really matter. Count runs full, though. It's 3-2. Still no throwing in the Majors bullpen, so it appears this is Martinez inning, and that is partially due to the pitching constraints with the amount of games that the Majors have in a short period of time. We got a doubleheader essentially coming up on Sunday with the resumption of the game that was only in the 3rd or 4th inning when it was called.
Yeah, you got to play 2/3 of a game and then a full game.
Here's the 3-2 home. Flared into left field, and that one's going to get down in fair territory. That'll plate both. So the stolen base for Elliot Curtis proves important as Stephen Whalen drops one into left field that scores a pair for the Panthers, and they lead. It is 5-2 Kitchener.
Yeah, and that's just one of those in-between swings that you're just lucky to get a piece of, and Whalen essentially a check swing single. Wasn't a full swing there by the left-handed hitting second baseman. Just flared beyond third base into the outfield. That scores 2 all day.
So runner at first, 1 out here in the frame as Marcel Lacasse steps up to the plate. Panthers have taken a 5-2 lead in the top of the 8th inning and taken some of the life out of this crowd as that one finds the outside corner for strike 1. Martinez digs in on the mound and looks in for the sign from Eduardo Deolio. Now the righty comes set. The offering on the way. Cut on and missed. Deolio thought about a snap throw to first, but held back. So Martinez well ahead in the count, 0-2. Majors got a great start from Pedro de los Santos. We're up 2-1 coming into the top of the 8th inning. Now they trail by 3. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. That one skips away from DeOlio. He will not make a throw to second base, so Whalen moves up to second on what will likely be scored a wild pitch, and there's a runner in scoring position with 2 out.
Yeah, the Panthers doing a nice job getting the job done in more ways than one. You know, if you can impact the game with your legs out on the base paths, it makes a huge difference throughout the course of a ball game. We've seen it a couple of times with guys taking extra bags with balls in the dirt, whether it be a straight steal or whether it even be going first to third or second to home. If you're able to get yourself in a position to move a couple of bases at a time, that gives your team a better chance of success more times than not.
So Whalen at second, pitch from Martinez, outside corner, strike one to Humberto Ruiz. Ruiz still looking for his first hit in the ball game. He's 0 for 3. Breaking ball gets a chase there. It's 0-2.
Ruiz being the 8th hitter of the inning in the 8th inning.
Not what you like to see if you're the Majors. As Martinez up at 25 pitches through 2/3 of an inning, trying to get out of it here. Pitch on its way, swing and a miss, strike three. That one in the dirt. DeOlio will have to complete the putout, goes to the outside. Patel makes the catch at first, and the side is retired. But the damage done by the Kitchener Panthers in the top of the 8th inning. They score 4 and have taken a 5-2 lead after 7.5.
Yeah, they've put themselves in a pretty good position to close out the game with just an inning and a half to go. And that's just a job of them grinding out at-bats and putting themselves in good counts. Really, I don't want to say for the first time tonight, but it was very rare when De Los Santos was on the bump. We talk about his 3 straight 1-2-3 innings to end his night. So the Panthers really having a lot more success here against Martinez than De Los Santos.
We'll give you a look now at the IBL bracket. Now, one thing that has changed already since we took this screenshot to put it on the screen for you, the Hamilton Cardinals have defeated the Barrie Baycats by a score of 5-1. So that series in the bottom left corner is now tied at 1 apiece in the 3v6 matchup between Barrie and Hamilton. Welland and Brantford, they are still waiting their first result because they did not get to finish their game last night. Welland leads 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning, so if that score holds, they take a 1-0 series lead. Toronto and Guelph in the bottom right, unable to finish their game last night as well, so they await their first result. They're not playing tonight. And over here at Labatt Park, if we had shown this graphic an inning ago, I would have said if the score holds, the Majors have a 1-0 series lead. But now, Reese, Kitchener has taken the lead, and if they are able to hold on to this, they will take a 1-0 series lead.
Yeah, and that kind of shows why they were the team to take over that number 2 spot in the Intercounty Baseball League over Barrie. Is just, their ability late in games not to quit, not to give up in any certain situation. They send 8 men to the plate. They score 4 runs in the 8th inning, and there's just no quit from the Panthers, who are looking for their first trip to the second round in quite a while, in a few years. A couple of first-round exits for them over the last couple of seasons.
Yes, it has been, but they were, of course, the 3-time runner-up.
Previous to COVID, you are correct.
In 2017, 2018, 2019, lost to the Barrie Baycats each time, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
They might have been just the 2 years, but I think it was 3, so trying to get back to where they were prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, that one of the most, not famous bat flips of all time, but a clip that definitely has made its rounds on social media in that series between Barrie and Kitchener.
That one's there for a strike, 0-1. Eduardo DeOlio at the plate, behind in the count, 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
And that was a pitch that, here's the fastball, try and hit it. And the Panthers, with 4 in the 8th inning, they've kind of put themselves that their pitching staff can do that and challenge these Majors hitters with a 3-run lead.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Jose Vasquez on the mound after he took over for Yadian Martinez. Chopper right back to the pitcher Vasquez. Off the rubber, he'll throw to first. and there's one out now in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That was kind of the first normal comebacker that we've seen here tonight, and it was a good job by Vasquez. Take his time, very calm play for him, and he threw a strike right to the chest of Liam Wilson.
So now a pinch hitter for the Majors. That is Josh Williams coming into the ball game for London in place of Jordan Schulafand. So Schulafand, if you'll recall, this has been the spot that's had the most substitutions, and I see you trying to make room for it on your scorebook here, Reese. So Kane McGee started the ball game over at first base. Then Charlie Bowman came in to pinch hit, and then Jordan Schulafand took over as a defensive replacement. Now Josh Williams steps into the batter's box as a pinch hitter and comes up empty on the first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, the only spot that's been touched, 4 different guys. Obviously going with the matchup here, Williams being a left-handed hitter.
That one's up and away, and it's 1-1. Williams, big left-handed bat, trying to come up clutch here for the Majors. Fouls that one off, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ibarra is going to need a moment here to shake that one off.
It's always a courtesy thing with umpires, catchers, giving each other a few seconds when one of them gets dinged.
So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Williams as Jose Vasquez looks in for the sign from Junior Ibarra. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Williams goes down on strikes in his pinch hitting appearance, and there's quickly 2 out now in the bottom of the 8th inning as Austin Wilkie will step up to the plate.
Yeah, Vasquez going for that goose egg. Always the following inning when your team either A, gets you ahead or puts a rally together to get you back into the game. Got to try and shut things down for the opponents as quick as possible, and Vasquez doing a nice job of that here in the 8th.
First pitch to Wilkie is there for a strike, 0-1. Wilkie 1 for 3 today. Swing and a miss, 0-2 now to Wilkie. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Panthers leading by 3. Majors trying to get something going in the bottom of the 8th. That one misses, it's 1-2.
And here for Wilkie, just got to shorten things up. Again, rallies can be started with 2 outs. Just about giving yourself a chance to reach first.
Here's the 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Looks like that ball in the dirt shook up Ibarra there. Nice 57-footer from Vasquez.
Vasquez still trying to put Wilkie away after that breaking ball, and Majors DH in the ball game. Wilkie looks at that pitch that misses. Count runs full on a close offering.
Yeah, and quickly down 0-2. Wilkie working himself back into it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, never know what can happen. 2 out walks usually come back to haunt pitchers, especially when they're up 0-2 and they lose the hitter.
Time called here as Vasquez still trying to get his cleat cleaned up. Vasquez sets out there on the rubber. Full count offering on its way to Wilkie. Chopped foul, and we'll try again on a full count.
Crowd definitely looking to get back into it. That 4-run frame from the Panthers has made this place a little bit too quiet.
3-2 count. 2 out. Here's the pitch. Wilkie in the air, fouled off. And you're right, Reese. The Majors crowd has been silenced by that big inning for the Panthers there, and looking to get them back into it somehow, reinvigorate this crowd.
And this quality at bat by Wilkie, if he reaches, definitely could. This is a guy that's working hard in the box to put himself on and keep the inning going.
Full count offering. Called strike 3. Wilkie down on strikes, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 8th inning. So we are through 8 complete here at Labatt Park. Majors trail by 3. It is 5-2 Kitchener as we head to break.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back now for the 9th inning between the Majors and the Kitchener Panthers. You get a look at the scoreboard on your screen there, 5-2 in favor of Kitchener. As we head to the top of the 9th inning, we'd like to take a moment to thank our lovely food sponsor, Kitchener.
And it starts with a 0 here in the top half. Can't let anything else across here.
Jet Jarvis will lead things off for Kitchener. Martinez readies and delivers. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1 home off the plate outside. It is 2 balls and no strikes. One ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. That one's smoked to second base. Brett Graham back there now. Throw to first is in time. So let's run you through the defensive switches here once again. Brett Graham goes from third back to second. Dan Battelle from first back to third. And Josh Williams takes over at first base after pinch hitting for Jordan Schulfand.
Yeah, and that was a nice play by Graham there at second. Yeah, it's a routine play, but a line drive that's kind of in between. Not taking a tough hop at all, but a good job by Graham to step back, grab that baseball on the backhand, and flip over to first.
That one fouled off there by the number 2 hitter, Andy Leader. It's a bit of a strange play by Graham. Looked like he stumbled on the way to get that baseball, maybe, and
yeah, that positioning at the lip of the infield and outfield there.
Setting on the mound is Wilber Martinez, and he'll deliver the 0-1 in the dirt. It is 1 ball and 1 strike.
Leader being the first of 4 that came across in the 8th. Let it off with a single.
Martinez trying to record the second out of this frame with Leader at the plate. 1-1. Leader squares to bunt, misses on a breaking ball, and it is 1-2.
Little interesting decision there. Again, infielder's back. I can understand. Try to go for an infield hit, as the infield grass really hasn't been too kind to the infielders today.
It is not. Some funny hops, some balls just sitting out there as Leader is able to fight that one off, and count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 count, 1 out here. Martinez at 33 pitches through an inning and a third. Andy Leader is 2 for 4. Setting on the mound, Martinez. Here's the pitch off the plate outside, and it is 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Panthers center fielder. Leader always does a good job of working the count, having long at-bats. 2-2 home. Breaking ball in the air. That one's going to get down foul. So we'll do it once more on 2-2.
Yeah, he's been the guy all night that's really had those extended at-bats. Of course, Jet Jarvis, a couple of times we've seen him go after the first pitch, but Andy Leader right behind him to make up for it, I guess you could say, and see Jarvis's share of pitches in his at-bats.
2-2 inside and eclipse Andy Leader. Just got him on the arm and jersey there, so Martinez got 2 strikes on him and then allows him to reach on the hit by pitch.
Again, I can appreciate pitchers going inside, try to jam guys or get them to swing over top of pitches. It just, sometimes you do run the risk of clipping guys, and we've seen that earlier against Starling Joseph. Now you see it here with Andy Leader.
Raul Gonzalez takes the first pitch he sees out to right center field. Reichstein and Lawrence aren't going to get this one. It will roll up against the wall. Leader around third. He's getting the wave to the plate. The throw is cut off there by Josh Williams. So it is an RBI double for Raul Gonzalez, and the Panthers extend their lead. It is 6-2 Kitchener.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty obvious ball where it was hit and how well it was hit that Leader was going to come around to score. Panthers not letting up at all here in the 9th, making sure that they tack on as many runs as possible. It draws a mound visit here in the 9th.
Pitching coach Brent Wales heads out to the mound as Scotto Janice begins to throw in the London bullpen, and it's been a struggle for Wilber Martinez, Reese, ever since he came into the ball game. I mean, it was 4 runs allowed in the 8th inning. He's allowed 1 run and has only recorded 1 out here in the 9th. Having a tough go with things tonight.
Yeah, that's already his 5th hit that he's given up in his outing. It's only been an inning and a third for him. The Panthers were ready for whatever he was going to fire at them. It just seems like they've been on every pitch that he's thrown, minus the couple of Ks that he did get in the 8th inning, but it seems like it's been too easy for the Panthers against Martinez. A lot of his pitches catching way too much of the plate. Just the wrong spots in certain counts.
Martinez going to try to sort things out here against Liam Wilson, who's into the batter's box now with Gonzalez at second base. Wilson early on that one skies it in the air. Left center field. Who's got it? Drew Lawrence does. He comes up with that baseball, makes the catch. And there's 2 away now in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's a good job by Lawrence to take charge on that ball. And, of course, the center fielder is the man that is number 1 in the outfield. He has control, of course, over the left and right fielders. So a good job by him. That's a tough play to come in. That ball, that had a pretty good chance to drop, but Lawrence read it well off the bat and able to come in for a very important out number 2.
So after that second out, Elliot Curtis steps into the batter's box. First pitch to him is cut on and missed. 0-1. Janice has lightened up the throwing just a little bit as Martinez nears the conclusion of this top of the 9th inning. Gonzalez still in scoring position for the Panthers, though, as the Majors right-hander gets back on the rubber. Sets and delivers the 0-1 in the dirt. It is 2 balls and 1 strike here to Curtis.
Yeah, Martinez just has to forget about Gonzalez at second. Yeah, you still kind of have to focus on him. You can't allow that free bag or free steal to third, but focus and attention has to be on Curtis at the plate.
1-1. Curtis fouls that one off. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Panthers DH.
kind of a distraction that Martinez doesn't need in this situation. Just focus on the hitter. You got yourself 2 outs. Focus on working down, getting yourself a ground ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch on its way. Inside. Doesn't get a chase or the call. It's 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 2's across the board, runner at second base. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3. Curtis gets frozen there as Martinez gets a strikeout looking, but the Panthers are able to add on to their lead, and it is now 6-2 for Kitchener. So we'll take a quick break and be right back on Majors TV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back now for the top of the 9th inning between the Majors and the Panthers. Pardon me, bottom of the 9th inning, I should say, here at Labatt Park. Dylan Baker alongside Reece Doumani, and Reece, it was a close ball game all the way up until the top of the 8th inning when the Panthers took the lead.
Yeah, it had that tight feeling that if London was going to hang on, it might have been only a 2-1 game, whereas Kitchener, different look. De Los Santos really had their number tonight, so you're questioning, how are they going to react to seeing an arm that, did fire a little bit quicker than De Los Santos. Martinez does throw the ball harder, but it worked to the Panthers' favor. They were able to catch up to a lot of his pitches, and a lot of his pitches caught a lot of the plate, so they did damage, and rightfully so.
Well, the Panthers, after their offense did some damage, the pitching has been able to shut things down. Jose Vasquez took over for Yadian Martinez, who also had a very good outing in his own right, and Vasquez has been lights out ever since he took over.
Yeah, Martinez did a good job. His team fell behind. He gave up a couple of runs there throughout the middle of the game in the 4th and 5th inning, but did a good job to keep it within 1 run and keep his team close enough where they were able to put themselves in a position to score 4 and to take a commanding lead late.
So Dan Battelle will step into the batter's box to lead off the 9th inning. Here's the pitch on the ground, right back up the middle, and that's how you start the bottom of the 9th inning. Dan Battelle, a leadoff single.
Yeah, you need to have team at-bats. You need to have quality at-bats here in the 9th inning. Again, you have to get the bases loaded in order to tie it with 1 swing, right? And that's exactly what the job is for Battelle, who just singled, so he gets a check mark next to his name. Brett Graham here has to do the same thing. Be patient enough in the box to wait for a quality strike if that's the plan at the plate. Or if you get that pitch early on, make sure you drive it. And, of course, for Drew Lawrence as well. Again, another guy who's able to put the ball in play. He's got a couple of hits so far today. So for all of them, they need to get on in order for the Majors to even think about coming back to tie it.
So Brett Graham trying to continue the effort to come back as that one misses in the dirt. 1-0.
And I think it's important for any of the base runners that get on, if any get on past Dan Battelle here, is that you really mean nothing at this point. Until that tying run comes to the plate, you mean nothing.
1-0 on its way. Low, 2 balls and no strikes. Graham displaying some good patience here.
And I wonder if you throw up a take sign here for Graham, not to say that he's not capable of seeing his pitch and driving it here in a 2-0 count, but just the situation it is, maybe you force Vasquez to get into the strike zone in this at-bat.
Hitters count for Brett Graham. Pitch on its way. Ooh, chased one up above the strike zone. 2-1.
Yeah, that was really awkward, wasn't it?
A bit of an awkward swing there.
Man.
You're right. Well, Graham has to readjust. Could have been 3-0. Instead, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Vasquez sets. Here's the pitch. On the ground, towards second base. Whalen charging hard, goes for the tag. They get it on Battelle, and they complete the double play to first. So the Panthers have the Majors down to their final out after turning 2.
Yeah, after that inning started off so promising with Battelle, it's just unfortunate for Graham where he hit that ball. I mean, that Whalen had an easy tag there of Battelle. Graham, easily being thrown out at first base and just washes away that leadoff hit.
So after the aforementioned leadoff hit gets washed away on the double play, Drew Lawrence steps in, trying to ignite a 2-out rally for the Majors. Vasquez sets on the rubber and delivers the first offering. Check swing, a bit more than a check swing. Kind of fought that one off. Foul ball 0-1.
Yeah, and Janice, after being in the bullpen, goes to coach first, makes a nice play on a foul ball.
Oh, 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Lawrence on the ground to second base. This should do it. Stephen Whalen throws to first, and the ball game is over. Well, this game was a tight one all the way up until the 8th inning when the Kitchener Panthers took off for good, and they are able to come away with a Game 2 victory, putting them ahead 1-0 in this series. Pedro de los Santos was solid, as was Yadier Martinez, and a real pitcher's duel in terms of starting pitching in this one, Reese.
Yeah, it was, and it was really who was going to get the last knock, last blow in this game, just the way that de los Santos threw, just the way that Martinez was throwing. Martinez was more having success with the strikeout. De los Santos having a little bit more success seeing that ball put in play to get his defense involved. But yeah, it was just Kitchener getting the last blow of the night. That's why they came out with the win.
Absolutely. Wilber Martinez struggled out of the Majors bullpen, and Kitchener really displayed the never say die attitude that they have as an offense coming back in this contest.
Yeah, because they didn't really have a lot of answers for De Los Santos. Really 1 or 2 innings that they had put some stress on De Los Santos and made it stressful inning for him. They took advantage of him coming out of the game. And again, that goes to the work they put in of working some counts. We talk about the second at-bat of the game. This is the second at-bat of the game. You don't really look a whole lot into it. However, following a Jet Jarvis first pitch fly ball out, Leader had a nice at-bat to follow that up, and he saw a lot of pitches to help his team out to see what De Los Santos was looking like tonight. So just working at-bats for the Panthers, able to knock out De Los Santos after 7, and I mean 7 strong innings is still phenomenal for him, but that early work that they put in to get that pitch count up.
Absolutely. The Panthers did a good job of wasting those pitches for Pedro de los Santos. And the Majors offense, for their part, Reese, they had their opportunities, just were not able to come through in the clutch.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have a big inning for the Majors. Yeah, you like to score in multiple innings, but it was just 1 run in the 4th, 1 run in the 5th, whereas Kitchener, they didn't score in really as many innings, just 1 more inning than the Majors did, but it was that big 4 spot that was the huge difference, and they were able to string a lot of quality at-bats together where the Majors just couldn't put as many together as the Panthers did.
Well, that'll do it for us here tonight in the Game Day London broadcast booth at Labatt Park. We'll remind you that on Sunday there are game and 2/3 to be played, I guess, as the Majors and Panthers will resume Game 1 at 1 p.m. Then 30 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1, it will be Game 3. Figure that math out on your own. And the Majors and Panthers will have 3 games done by Sunday evening, no matter what happens. We thank you all very much for tuning in here tonight on Majors TV as the Majors come away with a defeat here at the hands of the Kitchener Panthers. Kitchener takes a 1-0 series lead over the London Majors for Reece Doumani and Matt Hiscox. My name is Dylan Baker. We'll talk to you again very soon.